Hello and welcome back to That's Football. Sweden, Switzerland. This is the watch-along for Sweden versus Switzerland. On paper, it may not be the sexiest game. It may not be the most attractive game, but I think it will be one of the most interesting games of the World Cup so far. Now, I know we've had a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot of upsets. I mean, look, was it Portugal, Argentina, Spain, Germany, all going home. But this still might be one of the most interesting games so far. It's going to be so tight. Sweden or Switzerland, whoever goes through, will play the winner of England-Colombia tonight. So I know we've got a lot of British viewers. So keep an eye out for this one. This is who, if you get through, you will be playing. So very interesting games. On a bit about both teams, they both don't have a lot of goals in them, and they're both very well organised, very well structured, and trying to hit each other on the counter-attack. Now, I'm not sure how that's going to work because, you know, to counter-attack, you rely on the other team sort of pressing forward constantly, but both these teams want to counter-attack, if that makes sense. So, I'm not quite sure how that's going to work, but we'll have to wait and see. It is going to be very, very interesting. And I'm very, very excited. We will be getting Mark on in about 5 minutes' time. He'll be joining us, so we'll get his predictions. But as always, I want to know what your predictions are. Who do you think is going to win? As I said, I think this game is going to be extremely tight, it's so difficult to call. I mean, I'm sure the comments are going to be split. I've got an idea who Mark wants to win or thinks going to win, and I actually want someone else to win. So basically, this is going to give it away. I want Switzerland to win. Why? I think, one, it will benefit England, because I think Switzerland against England will be slightly more expansive, which would obviously allow England spaces for Dele Alli, Loftus-Cheek, Lingard to get into and exploit. So I think Switzerland would be an easier or a better opposition for England to play. But also, I just like Switzerland. I don't know why. I mean, as you guys know, I've got about 45 teams in this tournament. I don't have, my Holland aren't in it, so I'm supporting England, but I wanted Australia to go through. I like Switzerland, so, you know, I just like Switzerland. I don't know why, I just like Switzerland. I think if I had to predict, if I had to put a prediction on it, 1-0. 1-0 Switzerland. As I said, they don't have too many goals in them either side, and I think it's going to be a very, very tight one. It should be an interesting game regardless, shouldn't it? But, we'll get Mark on in just a second. Anvesh says, hey Sander, how you been? I've been well, mate. How are you doing? Antoine says, Sweden for the win. Well, that is obviously a possibility. I think, clearly they're playing each other. It's 11 versus 11, but Sweden are a very, very decent team. So even though I think Switzerland are going to win, and I kind of want them to win, doesn't mean that that's going to happen. You know, it's very, very much in the balance, and it can go either way, can't it? Mini Diver says 2-2. Ratty Maxwell says, will Mark be joining you? Mark will be joining me, mate, yes. So, don't switch off just yet. He'll be on in about 4 or 5 minutes. So, yes. 1-0 Sweden, 3-1 Sweden, 2-2. Football's coming home, Pankaj. Well, I don't know about that, mate. The Swiss have Roger Federer and Cheese, whereas Sweden have Bjornberg and ABBA. Switzerland 2, Sweden 3. I like that comment, Ashley. I like that, mate. I don't think it's going to be a 2-3 situation, mate, or 3-2 or 2-2. These teams don't have goals in them. They don't have goals in them. I think it was Switzerland haven't scored in X amount of knockout rounds, even with a penalty shootout where they lost 3-0 against someone or other. So clearly they don't have a lot of goals in them. Neither do Sweden, but I think it's going to be a tight game and a 1-0 or something like that. Hi, Sander, do you like Swedish meatballs? They're all right, yeah. Jared says, unreal how easy England's path is to the semi-finals. Well, you say that, mate. Colombia, yes, they haven't set the world alight in their group, but look, they were unlucky with a red card against Japan, and they beat Senegal and Poland. So they did what they had to do. Yes, they were slightly uninspiring, but still, you know, regardless, they're going to be a difficult proposition for England. You know, well, they have got James Rodriguez, but he's not going to be fully fit. Falcao, Davinson Sanchez, Yerry Mina, David Ospina, Quintero, who's played fantastic in the number 10 position. So they're not going to be an easy proposition. Switzerland and Sweden will be very well set up and very well organised. Of course, it's not a Spain. Of course, it's not a Germany or a big team like that. But as, who said that? As Devil's A says, no game is ever easy. So it's not an easy route, mate. It's just I guess it's an easier. It's not easy, if that makes sense. Football's coming home. A lot of people feeling very confident. A lot of people feeling very, very, very confident about England's route to the final. I do think Croatia will beat Russia, and then if England beats Colombia and Switzerland or Sweden, which won't be easy, Croatia's going to be a step too far for them, I think. But you never know. And then if they get through that, they've got to get to the final, and then it'll be Belgium, Brazil, or France, won't it? Yeah. Sander loving the tablecloth. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. I usually wear a t-shirt underneath, but I'm not today. There will be goals, Sander. Expect the unexpected in this World Cup. 2-2 full time. 3-2 Switzerland in extra time. I wouldn't like to see... I wouldn't like to see penalties. I know Mark wasn't wanting to see penalties yesterday. I'd like to not see him today either, to be honest. I'm sure Mark will take it in this game rather than tonight, to be fair. But, yeah, well, as you say, expect the unexpected. But I personally just, off record, off what we've seen of these teams, there's not many goals on either side. So I think it's going to be a tight one, but a close 1-0. That's my prediction. 60 million for Willian is a steal in today's market. 30 isn't old. Look at Ronaldo's Zlatan. Yeah, but not everyone can go as far as old as Ronaldo and Zlatan. But I think 60 million is probably the right price for Willian. If you guys saw me yesterday with Belgium versus Japan, or heard me yesterday with Belgium versus Japan, mate, I couldn't. I was crying. I was actually crying. Like, it was just so funny. That was such a good watch along yesterday, the Belgium one. Does nobody think Colombia are going to beat England? Gungshi, I hope England can beat Colombia, but I definitely think it's not a foregone conclusion. Anyway, let's get reading the team news then, shall we? Whilst we wait for Mark, or he should be joining us any second now. Just get my earphone in. But let's get reading the team news for you. So shit, the Swedish team is Olsen in goal, Lustig, Lindelof, Grankvist, who's actually his wife or partner, is due to have their baby today, so he's not flown back. So we've seen Mbolo flew back for Switzerland during the group stage and knockout stage gap because his wife was going to give birth. We saw Fabian Delph, who's not back from England yet, so but Grankvist has decided to stay. Then we've got Augustsson, that makes up the back four. Salerson, Svensson, Egdal and Forsberg. Forsberg, obviously we all know what qualities he's got. Berg up front and Toivonen up front with him. So they've got a few good players, but mainly they're just very well set up and very organised, Sweden. For Switzerland, Sommer in goal. I think he plays for Bayer Leverkusen. Rodriguez, we all know him, former Wolfsburg, now AC Milan. Left back, Akanji, Jory and Lang. Xhaka, Granit, of course, from Arsenal. Berami, Zuba, Zelameli, Zakiri, we all know, and Drimic as well. So they've got Mbolo on the bench. The benches for either side aren't too inspiring. I don't think either side have got that much attacking quality, to be honest with you. They're not very inspiring going forward. But as I said, they're very, very well set up. They're very well organised. And I'm just interested to see how this game pans out, because they're both counter-attacking teams. So how will the two counter-attacking teams play against each other? One team's going to have to take control, I guess, but we'll have to wait and see. Or we get end-to-end stuff, which is, obviously what we all want to see. But how do you guys think it's going to go? Do you think it's going to sort of be a bit cagey? How do you think it's going to go? Do you think we're going to see end-to-end stuff? And I want to know what you guys think. So get in the comments. I've got your comments here nice and large as per usual, so get involved. Draw and penalties. Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know about that, man. I wouldn't be happy with that. Sander wanted to say this for a while, but you look a lot like Bale. Never heard that before, mate. No moderator. Yeah, we'll get Matthew on soon. And Mark's coming on soon, so he can just block people if they're being idiots. This game will be interesting, being a lot of players out due to suspension. When Mark's the yellow card man, so when Mark gets on, we'll ask him about any potential suspensions and things like that, because he knows his websites for that sort of thing. So we'll get him on, unless you guys can inform me who's already on a yellow card. But there you go. I'm on Stay Calm. Oh, there you go, Jared. Yeah, and Snaps is here as well. Brilliant. Come on, Lindelof. Yeah, Lindelof's done well this World Cup so far. The stadium's not 100% full yet. There's a few empty seats, but it's not kick-off yet, and I guess they're probably just getting their beverages in. Why aren't you reacting to the England game? because that's tonight. I don't know what you mean. This is just this evening, isn't it? I can't react to it before it's happened. But Mark will be live. We are live with every single World Cup game. So Mark will be live for that with Marcus tonight. So join him for that. Yeah, if you thought last night was funny and stressful, then tonight should be something else. Any other Swedes here? Heja Sverige. I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry. I'm usually sort of proud of myself in terms of that I can sort of adapt to accents, but that was awful. Sander's glowing as usual. Thanks, Anvesh. Appreciate that, mate. Get sharing the video as well, lads. We're trying to get as many people involved as possible. I'm sure when Mark joins, the views will go like that. But, you know, that's the way it is. Hey, Megs. How you doing? Well, it depends on what country you're in. Colombia will beat England. I mean, we could talk about Colombia, England definitely later on in this stream, but I want to try and keep it on this game. I know it may not be the most inspiring of games, but it is very, very interesting. I mean, one of these teams is going to make it to the quarter-final and are going to play England or Colombia. So, you know, regardless of this individual match, it's a very interesting match into the context of the World Cup. I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited. As I said, I prefer, for some reason, it's just me being weirdo, just prefer Switzerland and want them to go through. But I wouldn't really mind if Sweden go through either. But I'm sort of, if I was a betting man, which I'm not, I would put my money on Switzerland. But as I said, it's on a knife edge. It can go either way, can't it? Is this the tennis? Yeah, this is the tennis. Sort of, it's the Swedish person versus the Switzerland. Yeah, it's the tennis, mate. Yeah. Sana, please start laughing like yesterday. Oh, mate. I just don't know. I don't know what got into me yesterday. To be honest with you, it was just wow. Daniel says, "Hello, Sandra. Another watch long. I'm here again. You're here again. I guess there's something going on here." Daniel fancies me is basically what he's trying to say. Sandra should do a Jamaican accent. No. Good analysis, Sandra. Would like a Sandra rant today. Anyway, guys, get in the comments. But I don't see how it would be a ranting today unless someone's rolling around on the floor. But there you go. I'm just excited, lads. I'm trying to see if he's online. No, he's not. He's not online yet. I'm sure he'll be getting involved very, very soon. The main person we all know. Don't be hard and say, people know you. Yeah, yep. Thanks, Danny. Thanks, mate. Welcome, Sanderson. Yeah, I mean they all have sons, don't they? Do the Swiss have anything in particular? They don't. The Swiss don't have any suffixes, if that makes sense. But the Swedes have son, don't they? Have you been discussing Willian? Well, we can discuss Willian. Obviously, we've got a game to come up, but Willian, apparently £60 million bid for Barcelona has been rejected, or they've made the bid or something like that. So it looks like Willian will be off to Barcelona. They'll be gutted. Mourinho will be gutted, but I don't see where he fits in, to be honest. Does that mean... Oh, no, I mean, he's only 30. I was going to say, does that mean Dembele's going to leave? Because they sort of play in the same position, don't they? They're both right wing, but I guess Willian could come in for the next season, the season after that, and then Ousmane Dembele can learn off him, I guess. But Sweden or Swiss to go through, Sander. I'm putting my money on Switzerland, but we'll get Mark on when it's kickoff, and he'll give us our predictions then. What do you guys think? I really don't know. I'm saying Switzerland, but I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I don't know. Dembele will stay, I think so. They'd be mad to let him go. Although I don't think he was worth 135 mil. The only reason Dembele went for 135 mil was because they had to, obviously Dortmund knew that Barcelona had the Neymar money, and so they were like, well, if you want him, and they clearly did, then you got to pay above the odds for him. So most Switzerland players are Kozvan, Shaqiri, Xhaka. Salah to Barca with Dembele going to Liverpool is what I hear. Doubt that, mate. I very highly doubt that will happen. But the national anthem, I can't speak. The national anthems are being sung. I'm very excited, as I keep saying. It's going to be a very interesting game. On paper, it may not be the sexiest, but it's going to be an interesting one nonetheless in terms of the context of this whole World Cup. Son stole my tablecloth and used it as a shirt. Sorry, mate. I couldn't fight. I just couldn't fight. They were all in the wash, my other shirt, so. Yes, Jay Hart, mate. Yes. Anyway, teams are out. Come on, Mark. Get involved, mate. I want to know his opinion. But we're just waiting for kickoff now, lads. I want to see how Lindelof does. In terms of danger men, get in the comments. Who are your danger men for either side. If I have a little look at the clearly for Switzerland, Shaqiri's one. Barami's decent. Embolo off the bench I rate. So Shaqiri and Embolo are the main men I think for Switzerland, and then for Sweden, Forsberg. Forsberg is a good player, isn't he? We all know about Forsberg. So for Sweden, Forsberg, and for Switzerland, Shaqiri, I think. Oh, here he is. Hello, mate. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. You?
I'm well, thank you very much. Well, we're about to kick off. I'm sure. Well, you might have kicked off already, but what are your thoughts going into this game, then, pal?
I don't know. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late, but there's so much going on. I think it's because the World Cup's starting to get spread out that we're now starting to get so much transfer news. And the Ronaldo thing's interesting, which we'll talk about. But in relation to this game, I've not really had much time to prep for it. And I think in many ways that's quite a good thing because I don't really know which way it's going to go. I don't know where my loyalties lie. I don't really mind who wins, but I probably favour Sweden, if I'm honest.
I said that. I said, because I favour Switzerland. I said Mark will favour Sweden. I reckon he'll favour Sweden. But
you go Switzerland, I'll go Sweden. It makes it more interesting.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I think basically both these teams are very, very well organised. They're both counter-attacking teams. So, I mean, I don't know how, when two counter-attacking teams play against each other, it's interesting to see how that game will pan out. But yeah, they don't have many goals in them either side. They're both very well organised. So I think it's going to be a tight one. As you say, I'm not sure which way it will go for me. I'm going with my heart. I'm going with a 1-0 Switzerland win. But I'm sure you'll give your prediction when the game kicks off as well. So there you go.
Yeah, I will do. It is just about to kick off. I'm just sharing the tweet as well.
Lichtsteiner suspended for this game. I said, I mean, they were asking about yellow cards and suspensions and things. I said, wait till Mark gets on. He knows about all that sort of stuff and where to find it. So once you're ready, mate, just start searching up who's on a yellow card. Apparently, Lichtsteiner suspended for this game, which is obviously going to affect them negatively. He's a decent player.
Yeah, I'll have a look for you now.
Nice.
So we're up and running on my screen. Just a bit of a shot for Shaqiri, actually, in the first 10 seconds, which was funny. Well, I mean, it didn't test him, but I can tell you the yellow card situation for both teams is Switzerland have got Shaqiri, Barami and Zakaria, and Sweden have got Klassen, Ekdal and Lustig on their yellow cards. And just as ahead for tonight, Kyle Walker and Loftus-Cheek, well, he won't play anyway, so Kyle Walker for England, and Colombia have Rodriguez, Barrios and Mojica on yellow cards. And I don't know what the situation with James Rodriguez is for tonight, so I'll have a look a little bit.
I think he's going to be... I reckon he might start, he might be on the bench. He will be involved, but how fit he'll be, I don't know. But he will be involved, I reckon.
Yeah.
Xhaka is... Well, in terms of both of these teams, you probably haven't seen the team news, obviously, with everything going on. But once you do see it, in terms of your danger men, I said Switzerland. We all know about Shaqiri. When on his day, he's quite inconsistent, but on his day, he can turn up and change the game for you. And for Sweden, although I don't rate him that highly, but Forsberg's a decent player. So they've both got danger men, but as I said, quite defensive teams and quite well organised teams in the main.
Devil's Ace says that Rodriguez is fit to play. I think they had the scan. It's not a tear in his calf, which is good. I think he'll be on the bench, and I think they'll bring him on if they need to bring him on. But I'd quite like him to play. I mean, I've been quite open about the fact I like Colombia. I'm massively nervous about this one, Xander. I mean, it's been building up, and I'm really nervous. I can't wait to start drinking beer. I would have started already, but I'll be smashed by 7 o'clock if I do that. So I'm holding off. But I can't wait to get a few beers in me and just... I mean... Anybody who watched the last 5 minutes of last night's game, I mean, that's going to be 90 minutes tonight. It's going to be proper stress and passion. But, I mean, I've been talking to people. I spoke to Drawty about 10 minutes ago. Well, I didn't talk to him. We were WhatsApp messaging, and I said, if England win... This is England's hardest game before the final. If they win this game, Sweden and Switzerland aren't as good as Colombia. No. And I don't believe Croatia are either. So it's a massive opportunity, but I'm now in that negative thing that you get as an England fan over many years. I won't believe we've won it till we've won it because so many years of hurt. I spoke to Marcus, messaged me, he's really confident.
Yeah.
A lot of people are confident, but I think my many years of being disappointed by England, it's such a good opportunity. Yeah. History shows you England will mess it up.
I think as you say, I don't think Switzerland and Sweden are as good as Colombia. Actually, I know you sort of favouring Sweden, and stick that way because it does make it interesting. But I think Switzerland would be not an easier, but a better suited opposition for England, as I think they'd play slightly more expansive against England, leaving spaces for Dele Alli, Loftus-Cheek, and maybe Jesse Lingard as well to pick up on. But I think, like you say, they're not as good as Colombia. So, I mean, it's going to be a big test, Colombia, isn't it? If you get past them, I think a semi-final place is on the cards, but...
I'm with Zed Jamie. I do not want extra time in this one. That's going to eat into my preparation and drinking time. So, I mean, literally, we'd have hardly any time before we were on the England game. And I need to get out in the garden and have a little bit of a kickabout this afternoon.
Need to get a little bit...
to get rid of some of the tension.
Yeah,
so, that definitely needs to happen. But no, I mean... Switzerland ranked number 6. I remember saying this the very first game against Brazil, as a lot of people thought that Brazil would smash Switzerland, and obviously they went 1-0 ahead and it ended a draw. But Switzerland ranked number 6 in the FIFA rankings, which can be a little bit off, but actually I don't think they are totally off with this, because Switzerland are a very well-organised team, like you say. But even in the first 5 minutes of this game, Switzerland are more on the front foot than Sweden. And I mean, I support Sweden because... there's a lot of Swedish fans on that football on United stand. That's why I'm going with them and Lindelof. So, but I won't be massively disappointed. And I actually think England would have a better chance against Sweden than Switzerland.
Oh, really?
I'm not thinking like that because it's too early. But I think Switzerland have been more consistent in this tournament when you think about it. Drew with Brazil, beat Serbia, won their last game against Costa Rica, then into the whereas Sweden. I can't remember who was in Sweden's group. Was it South Korea?
It was Germany and
South
Korea.
Mexico.
Yeah.
So beat South Korea.
Lost against
nearly
Germany.
Got something against Germany and then smashed Mexico. And Sweden are just a weird team. But against Mexico, I saw something that I didn't think they could do. So it'd be interesting to see how they approach this game, whether they'll sit back or attack. But it's an intriguing game, and it's nice that one of them will get in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, just overall, it's fantastic that one team, other than England, of course, is going to get to the final that hasn't won it before. So, I mean, it's a fantastic World Cup. It's just, once again, yesterday, I know the underdog didn't go through, but it was still a fantastic game. I mean, we haven't, other than Spain, Russia, really, we haven't had any real cagey games, have we? They've all been fantastic. I mean, Denmark, Croatia, maybe, but they've all been fantastic games with a lot of drama in them. So, loving this World Cup so far, and yeah, I mean, hopefully this game can provide some talking points as well. I'm sure it will.
Yeah, I had to get off quick last night because of the United stand, but I mean, what a, I know I didn't want extra time last night, so part of my celebration was because of the last 5 minutes. I was losing my head that we were going to get extra time again. But I mean, I would have celebrated the Japan winner as much as a Belgian winner at that point. I just wanted somebody to win it, but it was great, that goal, because you saw it from break. It was absolutely superb, and I really enjoyed it. But straight afterwards, I would have said the same for Belgium as well. I was so gutted for Japan, and Japan deserved the quarter-final place because they came into that tournament. Nobody mentioned Japan. Nobody was talking about Japan. People were talking about Senegal. They were talking about Mexico. But actually, Japan, apart from that last 5 minutes where they, 10 minutes where they, played for a 1-0 loss, they were brilliant against Japan, against Belgium. And the way they played football, the way they pressed, they deserve a lot of credit. And I think they deserve the quarterfinal place just to get that worldwide credit that they won't get now, because obviously they got knocked out in the last 16. But they were so close. And I just felt that the Vertonghen goal, which was very lucky, that was what cost them. The Fellaini goal, I think they were always going to score in the last 20 minutes, Belgium. But that Vertonghen goal was sort of like give them a goal for nothing. And I think if that hadn't have gone in and they got through another 10 minutes before the Fellaini goal, I think they might have got over the line, because on the break they looked good. But you can't take anything away from Belgium. We did say that, Xander, didn't we? That we wanted Belgium, Brazil. Sweden are in. What a rubbish shot that was. He's flicked in there. I think it's Berg, isn't it, who plays up front. Nice little ball. Flicked in. He's going to catch it on the volley, and he hits Rosed.
I mean, yeah, well, in terms of this game, guys, it's been quite an even game, hasn't it? It's been no real big chances for either team, apart from that Sweden one that you just mentioned. It's been a good first 7-8 minutes. Yeah, I mean, this is a big chance for him. I've just seen it now. I'm 7 minutes, 22 seconds in, so there you go.
Berg, yeah, you're not far behind me.
No.
Yeah, it's been a good game, and yeah, just quickly, just to close off last night, I was very impressed. I mean, we said it. Oh, here we go. Oh, good block there. Sweden trying to play out from the back. Got into, Switzerland trying to play out from the back. Got in all sorts of trouble. And another volley over the bar. And you'd have found that was class in that time. Probably should be 1-0 up, Sweden.
Maybe
really,
lacking a bit of composure, Sweden, then.
Yeah, definitely.
But,
good block. And then, I mean, if this goes in, it would have been a cracking shot on the volley over the bar. I'd have buried that. For anyone who sees this volley here, that's going in the back of the net if it's me.
Sure it is.
That's what you dream of. Edge of the box, dropping to you like that on the volley, and he puts it over the bar.
And he
catches
catches
it. You can see it from behind the goal. The top corner's begging you to hit me. Hit me. And no, he misses it.
Yeah, no, he caught it well, though, but didn't have the accuracy on it. But, yeah, anyway, on last night, just quickly, we were talking about, Belgium, they're bottlers, they don't have that winning mentality, they don't have the leadership, but, it's testament to their character and attitude that they came back from 2-0 down last night. It's a tough test.
Well, you said that yourself, didn't you? We've had so much in this World Cup, and now we've had a team come back from 2-0 down as well. I mean, we're getting all results. We're getting penalty shootouts.
Underdogs.
We're getting thrashings. We're getting high-scoring draws. We're getting, teams running away in the last 20 minutes, like France did against Argentina when it was tight. France came down from 2-1, didn't they, against Argentina and won 4-2. But that was impressive from Belgium. And Belgium are traditionally known as the team that bottles it. And what they'll take now, I mean, confidence, if Belgium do go 2-0 down again, they'll know, well, we've done it once. Yeah. And that's massive for your character. So I thought Belgium were poor yesterday, but the plan B really worked for them. Yeah. And they'll take a lot of credit from that. But down the width, they were poor, and that's where Brazil are strong with Neymar and Willian. So they need to sort that out. As
I said, that the wing backs are a liability. If Carrasco plays at left wing back, he's a liability for Belgium. So as you say, Willian and Neymar and people like that, they're just going to exploit those wing backs, and I think that's going to cause Belgium some serious issues. But let's get in the... Yes, we've got a super chat. I'll read that out now. It's from John Massey. Thanks for your contribution, pal. He says, missing Zlatan there. I think Zlatan, I mean, we've seen it against City. Do you remember that? A little while ago, Mourinho's first season, when he volleyed something like that into the goal. But I think Sweden, they've done very, very well without Zlatan, and it would probably hurt his ego that he's not a big part of it. But there you go.
Well, I watched them 2 years ago, Sweden, and they didn't get out the group stage of the Euros, and we were just about to sign Zlatan for Manchester United.
Zlatan watch, wasn't it?
So I was like watching all their games and hoping to see Zlatan play well, and Zlatan was still a good player then. But Sweden were really poor. I've watched Sweden in this World Cup, and I think they look a lot better, and maybe some of them younger players have developed over the last 2 years. Maybe they're a better team without Zlatan, I don't know, but... I think Sweden maybe suffered like Argentina did with Messi this World Cup. Where everything has to go through Zlatan. Whereas if you have that freedom as a team and you work as a team, this is the World Cup of that.
Yes, I agree with that. But there's a little chance there for Switzerland. Nice little ball over the top. Couldn't quite get on the end of it, but even game. It's been a good first 11 minutes. Very even, very tight, as we both thought it would be. But chances for either side. I think Sweden have had the better chances in the majority of them. But Switzerland in there showing that they can. They do have some threats going forward, and that they can break down Sweden. So positive for Switzerland. Very, very even, very, very tight. So there you go. Pankaj, best target man in the world, don't hate. Or is maybe, I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe Zlatan. Claesson looks like a young talent. Do you know anything about him? Let me look at his number so we can keep an eye out on him.
I think he's number 8.
No, he's number 17, Claesson.
Alright.
Let's keep an eye out for him then. Who was it that thought? Notorious Nerd. So, Notorious Nerd says, keep an eye out for number 17. We will do, mate. We will do. London is very loud today. I'm sure it is. I'm sure that would just be going absolutely mad. I'm sure going absolutely mad. I think people are getting a little bit carried away because England haven't been tested yet. They have been playing well, yes, you're right, but they haven't been tested yet. Panama, Tunisia, and a Belgian reserve team that was not at their full strength is not real tests. So, tonight will be the first proper test. And then after tonight, if they beat Colombia, then I allow everyone to get excited. But before then, I recommend you stay calm. Mark, do you think it's a little bit of a... I often do this with like big games in United. I try not to because obviously United have got to go into every game positive mindset. But are you sort of going into this a little bit like, well, if I think that we're going to lose, then it won't be so much of a disappointment if we do. And if we win, then fair play, I'm excited.
No, I'll be massively disappointed if they lose anyway, because it is a massive opportunity for, I spoke to a few people who are a little bit younger and who have no recollection of 1990. I mean, I know people who have no recollection of 96. I mean, yourself, when were you born? 2001?
2000, I was born 2000, yeah.
Yeah, it's... England have only made it to a World Cup semi-final twice. They won it once in '66. I mean, I don't remember that. And I just think it's a great opportunity. I don't think England can win it, because I think any England fan who thinks England can win it probably needs to get on the medicine a little bit. It doesn't mean we won't win it, but we've never got close.
Yeah,
but there is an opportunity to get to a World Cup semi-final, and although it would be massively disappointing to go out of a World Cup semi-final,
you take that,
and next generation of fans will never forget it. It's an amazing achievement, and I think the opportunity is there, and that makes me a little bit nervous because there's been so much talk of that this game's a tough game, and you've got to play what's in front of you and play the game, and then look at what's ahead of you, because this is like you say, this is the first test as well.
Yeah.
And it could go either way. You can't say England are a good team because they've beaten Tunisia and Panama.
No, it's exactly what I was saying, yeah. Yeah, I think, I'll be honest.
Such can go wrong as well. You could have a dodgy red card, a dodgy penalty.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a walk in the park, this game.
Kane could pull up in with a hamstring, and anything can happen. In his first little sprint of the game in the first 5 minutes, he has a sprint, pulls up, and then what, So, yeah, stay calm is what I say. But I think, Holland obviously got to the semi-finals of 2014. We lost against Argentina on penalties. And although that was very, very disappointing, and I would have loved to get to the final and potentially win it, I still look back on that tournament with very, very fond memories, So, it's, if you can get to a semi-final, England, if you offered that to any England fan before the World Cup, they would have snapped your hand off. So.
And just very quickly on Colombia, Colombia were one of my teams that I wanted to keep an eye on for the tournament to do well. Japan game, you can't really judge them. They were down to 10 men. Then they beat Poland very, very well. Rodriguez with a hat-trick of assists. He was fantastic. But then against Senegal, they weren't so good. Although they won the game, they weren't so good. So I don't think... My thing I would say is I don't think Colombia are actually as good as I thought they were going to be. But the big question mark, and you've said it and I've said it and a lot of people in the live comments are saying it, is we don't know how good this England team is. And I remember when the World Cup squad for England was released, and I was like, this is the worst World Cup squad I've ever seen. But they're playing to a system that is probably one of the best systems, and they've got team unity, which is probably the best team unity we've had in an England squad. So those things in a World Cup where the teams who play as a team are doing really well can make a big difference. So I don't know, it's massively exciting, but I'm also very nervous because I'll be gutted. I will be gutted. I've got back into international football in a big way, and I'd love to get more into England again because it's been a terrible decade for us.
I think even a quarter-final... I mean, you would have taken a quarter-final before the World Cup started, right, for England?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's
so even a quarter-final
is a good World Cup.
Yeah.
I still think if you get a quarter-final against Sweden or Switzerland and you don't win it, people will be like, oh, what an opportunity.
Still.
Yeah.
I
think if England win tonight, they will make the semi-final. And I don't like making big predictions like that. But if England win tonight, I think they'll make the semi-final.
And then I presume you've got Croatia, because I think Croatia will beat Russia. And then, I mean, Croatia are a very good side. They're a very, very good side. But, as you say, who knows? Anything can happen, and you could Liverpool your way to the final, couldn't you?
Yeah. I think England-Croatia would be a brilliant semi-final, and I'd be, what an opportunity that is.
300 makes a good point. Obviously, James Rodriguez is out for well, he's not out, but he's not going to be at full fitness. We can all agree on that. But he says Quintero is going to cause us so much problems tonight, Mark. And
he's a good player.
He's a very, very good player. He fills that number 10 position. He can play a pass, pick anyone out. And so with Falcao and Muriel maybe making the runs in behind, Quintero can find him, and he's got fantastic passing range. So, yeah, as you say, he's a good player. Keep an eye out on him. And it's just, what would you... I mean, we'll leave that for tonight. I was going to say, who would you play today? But, yeah.
Well, we can talk about it at half-time, because this game at the moment, we're 20 minutes in, and it's sort of gone within itself, this game, a little bit now. We had a good sort of first 10 minutes where maybe, with a bit of accuracy, we might have got a goal. The last 10 minutes, it sort of fell into its groove now.
Yeah.
It's not a boring game by any means. It's just a very equal game. And I think that anybody who was looking at the knockout stage, Sweden-Switzerland was always a game where you were like, I've got no idea who's going to win that, because it could be very, very equal. And to be honest with you, I know none of us want penalties, and it's a long way off that. And we probably won't get penalties, but it's a game where you probably would say, I can see that being a draw. If this was in the group stage, you'd say, yeah, this will be a draw.
As I said, mate, before, when I was just sort of building up to this game on this live stream, they're both very well organised. I don't see there being a lot of goals in it. I went 1-0. What was your prediction, actually?
I think I went 2-1 Sweden.
There you go. Well, I said 1-0 Switzerland because they're very well organised, as I said, and there's not going to be a lot of goals in this game. And as you say, there's a big chance it could go to penalties. Although we may not want that, this is the game on paper. If you look at it and you go, well, that is the game that's going to go to penalties. Well, it's a very tight game. It's a bit of a chess match, isn't it? So far, started well, but it's sort of they're sort of trying to feed each other out, trying to work each other out, as I said. So yeah.
Zed Jamie's just asked me about Ronaldo, which we will talk about probably at half-time as well. But I just want to just ask a question in the live comments. I haven't looked at his Twitter account in a long time, maybe over a year. But does anybody know who Shanta Ronaldo is? Do you know who he is, Sander?
No, I don't know who. No, I don't know who that is.
Let's leave it a few seconds. Does anybody in the live comments know who Shanta Ronaldo is? I mean, Kian Garahy says supposedly Ronaldo has agreed to join Juventus. I've seen little bits on this. It's way too early to say it, but
Juventus.
Does anyone know who Shanta Ronaldo is?
Why, is he like a bouncer account or something? Or?
Well, I'll tell you in a minute. I just want to see if anyone knows.
All right. Juventus, that would blow me away if he went. But don't they have an FFP type thing? Juventus issues.
No, that's Milan.
Oh.
No. So Shanta Ronaldo is this. He's on Twitter. I haven't checked him out for a long time, and he hasn't had a lot of news for a while. But he's basically a kid who plays in Denmark, who looks a little bit like Ronaldo, but he basically models his whole life on Ronaldo. He absolutely worships Ronaldo. He wants to be a professional footballer. I think he plays for some youth Denmark team that's not particularly good, and he's clearly not particularly good himself. But his whole haircuts, life, boots, it's all about Ronaldo. He gets a lot of crap. But I used to follow him on Twitter because I felt sorry for him. He used to get so much stick, but he was clearly just obsessed with Ronaldo.
What? And he's actually an actual player?
Yeah, I haven't looked on his Twitter account for a while. I'm actually going to have a quick look now whilst this game is just going on. I can't remember Ronaldo.
What do you guys saying in the comments then? Swiss missing 2 key defenders due to suspension. Yeah, Lichtsteiner is one. I don't know who the other is, but Lichtsteiner is one, definitely.
Definitely still going. At Shanta Ronaldo, football player at Odense Bold Club, trials with LA Galaxy. But you'll see if you look at Shanta Ronaldo. You see, we're giving him a bit of free publicity here. But
can you imagine actually like crediting yourself with trials for somewhere, but then not getting in?
Like he puts pictures this is where it gets wrong, because I've been a victim of this. I don't do what he's done, but he obviously loves Ronaldo, but he puts up pictures of his brother because he lives at home with his mum and dad. I imagine he's about 18, 19, 20, and every time he puts up a picture with his brother, he gets called a you know what. So
that's just no need. He just likes Ronaldo, right? You can maybe have a little bit of a laugh.
My interpretation with it is he's not that good, but
yeah, but it doesn't.
He's sort of got the same sort of body and everything as Ronaldo as well, but
it just doesn't. There's just people overreact. So you wouldn't say that to someone's face like that, would you? Why are you doing it online? Come on, Sweden.
Although he tweeted out on June the 5th, so happy and proud to have scored 6 goals in my latest 2 games during my trials with LA Galaxy.
I mean, maybe he's going to be signing. We'll have a little look out for him.
Then you get someone saying 6 tap-ins, which were mostly given to you by the defence.
Why do people hate him so much?
It's Twitter, innit?
Yeah, it's a hateful place, isn't it? A hateful place. But welcome, Max. Welcome. Guys, as always, we are live with every single World Cup game here on That's Football. So, get involved. Get subscribing. The goal for today is 42,000. I know Mark will smash that tonight. But if we could work towards that today in this stream, that'd be absolutely fantastic. So, get involved. Get subscribing. Join the community because it's a fantastic community. We're building up a lot of opinions there and a lot of debate for you guys to have with each other. So, get involved. I'm loving the World Cup. I know Mark is as well. So, yeah, get involved.
Chance of Ronaldo will probably get more followers than we get subscribers today now.
Yeah.
Cross coming in there from Switzerland over the bar wasn't a great chance, to be honest.
It's a tight game, isn't it? A bit of would you agree it's a bit of a chess match?
I think both teams are going for it, but it's just they're sort of evenly matched at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's exactly what we predicted, isn't it? Very, very tight game. They are both going for it, as you say. Well, this is what before you joined, I was saying it can either. I was a bit confused as to how two counter-attacking teams are going to play against each other. I didn't know whether one was going to dominate and then the other would sort of counter-attack, or whether it would just go end-to-end stuff and then just try and constantly counter-attack each other. I didn't know, but it's sort of been quite end-to-end, isn't it, in the last 5 minutes?
Yeah. It's Shanta Ronaldo at SHANTA.
I'll give him a follow.
Ronaldo, all one word, and. I think I'm going to start following him again. I don't think I do follow him anymore, but I'm going to start following him again because I used to get a lot of stick, but I used to quite enjoy his little stories about his training and his couple of. I scored 2 goals in training tonight, and models himself on Ronaldo. There is a comedy value to it, but not in the way people have a go at him. I don't like that.
But what's his actual name? What's his actual name then?
Don't know. At Shanta Ronaldo on Twitter. Don't know. It could all be a joke. He maybe doesn't even play for anybody. I don't know.
He's got all the gear if he doesn't play for
Ned
anyone.
says, I wish Brazil would play Fred. You know what? I really hope that Belgium knock Brazil out on Friday night because for many reasons, one beginning with N and ending in R, but more importantly, Fred's never going to play for Brazil. He's never going to play. And the sooner he gets back for you playing for United, the better. So... And also, I want Lukaku to win the Golden Boot, so I can't wait for that game. I think Uruguay-France is going to be really intriguing, but Belgium-Brazil, I'd put Belgium as favourites Brazil favourites because Belgium were poor last night. But can they be that poor again, or will they learn from it?
Well, Belgium were poor, but they had a lot of chances as well. Like if you think about it, Belgium, Lukaku's one where he got pushed. Lukaku's free header as well. That's 2 goals. And they had a few other chances, so they were poor, but I don't think they were awful.
Tyrone says Brazil will not be beaten by Belgium.
In terms of the game, same stuff. I know some people join this because they can't actually watch the game for whatever reason, or people actually really want to keep being updated about the game. Basically, it's sort of the same pattern of play as it has been the whole first half, sort of trying to feel each other out, both teams are actually going for it. It's not a boring game whatsoever. But very, very tight as we expected. Very, very tight. Both teams defending well as to be expected. So there you go. There's your little update.
Just very quickly on Ronaldo, there has been some reports from Spain that he will be leaving Real Madrid this summer. And then there's been talk of Juventus, which seems to have come from nowhere. But a lot of people are now talking about it. I don't know, you being in Madrid, I know you pretty much just lock yourself in your room, Xander, by the sound of it, because you can't even speak Spanish. So... But enough of the winding up. Have you heard anything about Ronaldo leaving?
I haven't heard anything, mate. I've not heard anything from anyone here. Obviously, they'd be absolutely gutted. They love him. But I haven't heard any. I think Juventus would be a very, very strange one. Very, very strange. The obvious one's a PSG, Manchester United, isn't it? But Juventus, is there anything in that?
You know what, though? It makes... I don't think it can happen. Where do Juventus get the money from?
No, exactly.
It makes a lot of sense because... He's never played in that league. And you know what? Ronaldo's legacy against Messi is always that he's done it at different clubs. Whereas Messi's only ever done it at Barcelona. And if he's done the Premier League, he's won the Champions League. He's done La Liga, he's won the Champions League many times. If he goes to Serie A, he's done Serie A and he wins the Champions League. That legacy is far better than coming back to Manchester United. Even though I'd love him to come back, it's sort of in the Project Ronaldo, it makes a lot of sense. And
yeah, because then he's conquered England, Spain, and Italy. You know.
I tell you what, if Juventus get Ronaldo and they get Martial,
no, never make. But where they're getting the money, there is no way they're getting the money for both of them.
No. I mean, the great thing is, I've always said many a time that Juventus are my Italian team. I've been saying it for years. So if they did get Ronaldo, it would suit. What a save by the keeper that was. Give him a shout out, number one. But Sweden is still on the attack here.
I think they've probably been the better side, haven't they, Sweden?
Yeah.
A
They've
little
had the better
bit,
chances. It was a bloody good save. It's going in the bottom corner and he's at full stretch. Tony Alexander Belgrad says, why don't you put the clock on when Mark is in the game?
I'll do that for the second half.
And, it was a good save. He's at full stretch.
Oh, Jesus, it was a good save as well, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it's difficult because the volley or the shot bounces right in front of him, which is often difficult for the keeper because it changes the sort of trajectory of the shot. So
good save by Sommer.
Well, you were talking about winding me up, but Switzerland do have a Manchester United player on their bench. You know that?
Switzerland.
Yeah.
Who?
Embolo.
Oh, yeah. Just waiting for the paperwork to come through 2 years later.
It's just 2 years late, mate. It's just 2 years late. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I did get that one wrong. I said it was a done deal and it wasn't. I've tightened up on my sources. Now, I don't get many people who tell me stuff, but I know one or two people. And obviously the Sanchez one, we were a week ahead with that.
You got Lindelof, but in the wrong time.
Yeah.
I remember I called into the United stand for that. I remember that. It was about December, wasn't it? About around January time. You said it was going to happen 1st of Jan, but it happened in the summer, didn't it?
We got Alexis Sanchez, though.
Yes, yeah. Well, you all know Robbie, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was way ahead of anybody, that was.
He gets a lot, doesn't he, Robbie?
I don't think he does, to be fair.
No?
I was speaking to him the other week, and he got Socrates because he was on holiday in Greece. And somebody told him. And then Sanchez, he knew, because obviously he knew something from somebody at the club gave him something. But you get little bits every now and again. But
I mean, I've got my one. I can't say who it is because he doesn't. I can't. But I've got that one. You know what I was talking to you about ages ago?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but that apparently, from that, Neymar is more likely than people think.
What, to Real Madrid?
Yeah.
I think things are going to go off after this World Cup.
Well, maybe not this summer, but there have been talks.
Game. He's been booked for Sweden, number 2, so he's out of the next game.
Because there's no love lost with Barcelona and Neymar.
No.
So he wouldn't care. And we all know David De Gea was pretty much done, wasn't it? But I mean, but from that sort, it was like the presentation was all ready and everything like that. From I heard. Everything was done.
Please do share the video, everybody. A big day today on That's Football and in football in general. We've got England and Colombia coming up. And remember, they will play the winners of this game. So,
yeah. Whoever gets through, it's an absolute gift, isn't it? It's an absolute, just on your plate. Here you go, semi-final. Because Colombia and England...
Well, no, I disagree with that.
No, but Colombia and England should beat these teams.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it, quarter-final...
What has this World Cup taught us, though?
Yeah, it's true,
One thing the World Cup has taught us is that even if Brazil were playing Sweden or Switzerland, or they've already played Switzerland, it doesn't mean it's going to be 3 or 4-0. Yeah, they should win it, and maybe they would win it. But I think, like you said, everybody from Japan to South Korea to Senegal, everybody, apart from probably 3 or 4 teams, we're talking, I think Saudi Arabia were very poor,
Egypt.
Tunisia and Panama, but even Iran, well-organised teams that are hard to break down. So I think it would, I don't think Colombia or England would smash Switzerland or Sweden at all. I think it would probably be 2-1 or something like that. But you'd have to say it's a massive opportunity, isn't it? Comparable to, we were on about this the other day, weren't we? If England had finished where Belgium did, Japan wouldn't have been an easy game, as we saw, and then you get Brazil.
And then you got France, probably, or Uruguay.
I do think that we will see Brazil or France in the final, though.
Oh, yeah, I think so. And then they're massive fate. And I just hope that like you say, I think we will get Brazil or France. And then I just hope it doesn't go into a very, very boring game where Brazil or France smash, let's say, Croatia or Colombia or someone like that. I hope it's an equal and even and exciting game.
Yeah, because there will be an
underdog,
a quality gap there. When you are Brazil or France, you're going to have to win a lot of good games to get to the final. Whereas this side of the draw, it's not the same quality depth, is it? I mean, there'll still be good games, but as I said, France have beaten Argentina. They're going to have to beat Uruguay. They're probably going to have to beat Brazil or Belgium. Well, they will, just to get to the final. And the same for Brazil. They've beaten Mexico. They've got to beat Belgium. Then they've got to beat France or Uruguay just to get to the final. So by the time they get there, they might be fatigued, but they'll also be, well up to speed with playing high tempo, high quality games.
High importance as well, because there will be pressure that England haven't. Obviously, the World Cup final is going to be pressure for everyone that they haven't felt before. But Belgium, Brazil, that's going to be a lot more pressure than England, Switzerland or something like that.
I tell you what, Jacques has just hit an absolute rocket here from about 45 yards. It's a good 2 meters over the bar, but the technique was nice.
He often hits. He scored against Serbia. Was it Serbia that he? Yeah. Him and Shaqiri. I was waiting in the airport. I was picking Megan up, and I found a little bar in the airport that was showing that. So yeah, he can hit them.
Was she drunk?
No, I was just waiting. She hadn't gone through yet.
Because you said you were picking her up and you were in a bar. So
no, from the airport. No.
It was a decent shot, BKD Limited. It was, yes, it was.
Can you imagine that if England got to the final? I know that's just so far away, but like, you can dream.
If you go all the way to the final, then lose it. Oh,
I know. I was about to say this when we were talking about it earlier. About the 2014 World Cup, I would rather it hurt more when Holland lost to Spain in 2010 in the final than when we lost against Argentina in the semi-final. I'd rather lose in the semi-final than in the final.
Holland were atrocious in that World Cup final, though, weren't they? That was the one where Howard Webb was the referee and
De Jong just like clattered. Was it Busquets or someone like that in the chest? He got a red card as well.
But they had a good team.
Yeah, we had a very good team, but Spain were better. We knew that if we tried... Well, that was Spain's best team ever, pretty much. And we knew that if we tried to play them at their own game and try and play football, we would lose. So we just tried to fight them, but it didn't work. But Robben had a chance where he could have taken it past Casillas, but Casillas got a hand to it. Oh, I can't watch that goal back, that Iniesta goal. I just can't watch it.
I mean, just looking at that Dutch side, Van Persie, Kuyt, Sneijder, Robben, De Jong, Van Bommel, Van Bronckhorst. Yeah, it was a bit of a shit team, actually.
No, but they're all in their peak. So we're thinking Van Persie and that now. But Sneijder, in his day, on his game, and, Van Bommel was a quality player, Van Persie as well, so...
But yeah, it was quite a defensive team.
Compared to that Spain team, who were at the peak of their powers with the most unbelievable players, that...
We got Villa, Pedro, Iniesta, Xavi, Alonso, Busquets, Capeldev, Puyol, Piqué, Ramos. Bloody hell, Ramos was playing at right back.
And then Casillas.
Then off the bench, they brought Fabregas and Torres on.
It's ridiculous, right?
And Torres was bloody good then.
Yeah, exactly. So we're all thinking Torres, he's a bit bad now, but this is them in their peak. So 8 years ago now.
I remember De Jong should have been sent off.
Yeah, but with that straight into his chest, that was awful. But we did get a man sent off. I think it was De Jong in the end. Well, I was only 10 then. But we...
Simon Maker says England are going to beat Colombia. And I just want to get a gauge of people in the live comments as well, just very quickly, because we're sort of having a bit of possession in the midfield here. This game needs a goal.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I'd say Switzerland at the moment, but yeah, I agree with Mark. The South African World Cup was ruined by those, what were they called, the Vuvuzelas or whatever.
The Vuvuzelas.
Yeah, they were irritating.
I had one.
I'd have been all right in this World Cup because I wasn't doing watch-alongs then, so I wouldn't have had. I would have just been watching the game with the sound on, but I don't have the sound on when I'm doing watch-alongs, so I would have been perfect for me. But yes, Ronaldo. Do you think does anyone think he will leave Real Madrid?
I heard.
I saw a lot of people will say, "Oh, this happens every year." There seems to be more to this.
I saw reports saying that apparently I mean, like I said, this does happen every year. But I saw reports saying, people close to Ronaldo that he's very, very serious about leaving this time. Now, I don't know how close those are to Ronaldo, but I'm always skeptical. And this is the ultimate, I won't believe it until he's holding up the shirt, isn't it? It's the ultimate one, but I can always dream. I would imagine singing the Viva Ronaldo song. It's just, I think he's one of the United's best players of all time, isn't
he? Yeah.
No, he's my childhood hero. I cried when he left. Here
we go. Oh, he's got to score. He's got to score there. A lovely chance for Switzerland. Well worked. Drops to him on the edge of the box. It's Akanji. And lovely little bit of play between him and Zuba. And he puts it over the bar. Again, Sweden have had 2 chances not similar to this, but I don't know whether there's an issue with this ball in the World Cup. It might be a little bit light because we've seen a lot of shots going over the bar, and it was a great chance, as Brandon just said. He was off balance, but
if he just curls that into the far corner, he should, bit of composure.
Got a free kick here to Sweden.
Well,
yeah, a lot of shots going over the bar.
They've both had very good chances, haven't they? It's been a very even game, and it's not been, that cagey either. It's been dipped in and out of caginess, if that makes sense. But they've both had very good chances. They've both had shots off on goal. So, yeah, it's been a good half.
Michael Jones, if England go to penalties, I don't even know if I can watch it. I can't. And the bad thing is we haven't had a penalty shootout since Sunday, so we're due one.
Oh, mate, if I will be very much tuning into that watch long.
I feel sick. Thing is, I've had this so many times over the years, and it's like the biggest United game when it's England, because there's just something about England that. Well, obviously it's always big games for England, isn't it? Because most of the time it's a big tournament, and it just grips you, and it's horrible. It's horrible. It's
because every 4 years, and also that this opportunity is better than one you'll ever maybe get in the future. So, I'm just trying to make you feel a bit more nervous, mate.
Free kick there, just went off Xhaka's head, and the goalkeeper would have been routed to the spot if that had gone on target. It just went wide, so it's a corner here that Forsberg will take. He took the free kick as well.
Yeah.
Damien Gasson says, "Come on, my Swedish beauties." Yeah, I'm going for Sweden, and Xander's going for Switzerland. I mean, I don't think either is massively bothered who wins it, but I would favour Sweden, who I think are the slight underdogs in this, but it's been very equal this half.
Yeah, it's been very equal, but I think maybe I'd slightly lean towards Sweden, mate. I think they've had more chances and the better chances at that. So, as you say, it is very even, but I'd probably lean slightly towards Sweden in terms of who's been better.
It's interesting as well because VAR's disappeared as well.
Yes, you're right. Since the knockout stages have begun, it's not been involved at all, has it?
Oh, my life! What are you doing there? Brilliant cross from Lustig. And it's number 8 again, who I keep thinking is Klassen, but it's not. It's Ekdal. He's the one who put the volley over the bar from the edge. And this chance is he's just got to head it. Why are you not heading it? Get your head on that. Dive at it. Get your head on that. I mean, even on the volley, he's got to do better. But Jesus
Christ,
head it,
mate. No, I don't think you can head that because it's too low. But on the volley,
you can. If you're like me, you can head that.
You would have
touching 1987 Coventry. Back to the net.
Well, I've heard a lot about your finishing. I've heard about a little five-a-side tournament, but
yeah, I was just it
was an off day.
I set the keeper the wrong way, but I missed the goal.
It was an off day. It was an off day, but yeah, no. Well, a bit of composure, and a bit of quality there, and you see that going to the back of the net. It was awkward though, wasn't it? Because it was a bit too high to volley it, but it might have been a bit too low to head it. But he should score. Or at least test the keeper. At very, very least.
Nathaniel Hall says Sweden have no good finishes. Yeah, if you're not going to go with your head, you've got to get your body in the air. You've got to do one of them volleys where you're getting yourself up in the air and get over the top of it. It's too high to do the volley he tried to do, which is why he put it over the bar. You've got to get your foot over that and hit it low. I mean, it's I'm not saying he's got to put it in the top corner, but you've got to hit the target.
Get it on target at least.
From there, it's just send it back the way it came and hit it low, and he's got to get over the ball.
Memphis scored a volley like what you're describing a little while against Watford. Do you remember that for United?
He's tried to place that volley in. You've got to hit it with your laces.
No, you just gotta get it on top. Like, don't try and smash it. Don't try and hit the top corner, as you said. Just get it on target. Just get it, like you say, back where it came from.
Marcus Button says perfect height for a diving header. You see, me and him are cut from the same cloth. We've got technique, obviously, but to be honest, if that fell to me these days, I'd have been, it would have gone.
Oh, I've done my backing. I've done my backing.
Yeah. I'd have smashed at that.
Someone get me my walking stick.
The thing is, he actually had time to control it as well.
No, yeah, but I wouldn't have done that.
No.
It's been a good half, though. I've enjoyed it. He could have done it.
DJ Burns TV makes a good point. We've got any Switzerland people here? Or any Swedes here? I know in the group stage we used to ask that a lot, and we did have a few Swedes. So let us know if you've got any Swedes or Swiss here, and that'd be good to know.
Yes. I mean, I'm not Swiss or Swedish. So.
Oh, lovely gross there from Shaqiri. It's a bit end-to-end, this. Needs a goal.
Yeah, it needs a goal, but it's been a good game, as I've said many times. It's but it does need a goal, doesn't it? Just to open it up.
Did I do Netflix and chill after Japan Belgium Bandit Clans? Well, not in the way you think Netflix and chill. I did chill out and watch some Netflix. I'm watching.
What are you watching?
I'm watching Unsolved at the moment, which is about the Biggie and Tupac murders.
Right. Have you heard of that Staircase?
Yeah, I took a look at that. It looks all right.
I haven't watched it, but it's basically, if people don't know, it's basically about a woman who's found in a pool of blood, dead at the bottom of a staircase, and apparently it's like a court case with the husband who might or might not have done it, and it stretches from like 1990 to now.
Is it real life?
Yeah, it's real life. It's real life. Like you get full on. Well, I haven't watched it, but yeah.
I just finished watching American Crime Story, which was about the O.J. Simpson thing, which I already knew the outcome, but the story was brilliant, so that's well worth watching as well. Breaking Bad is brilliant. I've really missed it.
It's good, isn't it?
For years, I'd never watched it, and I watched it over the last 3 months, and I really miss it now because obviously 5 seasons takes you a few weeks to.
I don't think when you're watching it, it's brilliant, but I think it's almost better when you've watched it all and you reflect on it and you're like, oh, that was bloody good. That.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you seen Prison Break?
I watched it years ago. I've not watched it again.
No,
I've not watched any of the new ones. No.
No, the new ones are shit, mate. They're awful. They're just money makers, cash cow. But
are they still making it, or have they cancelled it?
I think they're still making it, mate. It's just there's only so many times you break out of a prison. But the first season of Prison Break is absolutely quality.
Yeah, a lot of people rate Vikings. I watched the first season.
Yeah,
and
my dad rates Vikings.
But with many of these box sets, it's like, you've got to get yourself through the first season. I didn't particularly love Game of Thrones, and I just made myself get through it, and then I bloody loved it.
I got like 3 episodes.
Breaking Bad's a bit like that as well. First season, I was like, what is everyone going on about?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's a bit of a slow burner, isn't it? Because you've got to set so many different scenes in place and scenarios in place.
Westworld, I want to watch it, but I'd have to pay to get Now TV, and I can't be bothered. I've already got Netflix, Amazon Prime, so...
Is Amazon Prime going to hold Premier League next season, then?
No, it's a couple of years, but they will have some, yeah.
Fuck, mate, well, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
I am going to watch Better Call Saul, actually. I was going to mention that, because...
Apparently it's not that good, but if you're into your Breaking Bad, then it's worth a watch, I guess. I haven't watched it. Apparently it's like, you just come out of it like, yeah, it was alright. It is what it is.
Stranger Things is very good as well, Declan.
That's
I enjoy that.
I'm excited for season 3. That's so good, isn't it?
Because some good. It's half time anyway.
Yeah.
Half time.
Yeah, half time 0-0. Stop the time. I'll start the timer in time with you for the second half because I think that makes more sense. But yeah, I mean it's been a good half, mate. Well, give us your initial thoughts on that first half.
I think 0-0's an injustice, really. I think if Sweden could finish, they should have 2, and Switzerland should have 1. It should be 2-1 at half time to Sweden. There's been a lot of chances in the game. It's not been dull. It's just 0-0. People will think it's dull, but the chances have been there, and I'd give it Sweden over Switzerland just about. But I have a feeling that Sweden might regret those chances because you get a goal and the game changes.
I think Sweden, if they could finish like you say, should have 1 or 2 goals. But I mean, they can't. You get what you deserve. And I think if they had a bit more composure and they were a little bit more clinical, as you say, they should be winning. But you know, Switzerland have had their chances as well. They've had a few decent chances, a few decent shots. So it's a very tight game as we all expected. A bit more open than I would have expected. But yeah, I'm excited for the second half. I mean, 65% possession, Switzerland. Didn't know that. Well, I couldn't have predicted that.
Yeah, it just shows you, doesn't it?
Yeah. What do you guys think of the comments then? Get in the comments. What did you guys think of that first half? And now, I always ask this, but now you've seen that first 45 minutes, has your prediction and has your opinion on the game and the outcome of the game changed? Or are you remaining the same? I probably would actually change based on that first half. I'm actually going to go with a Sweden win. And slightly more goals. I'm probably going to go with your prediction, mate. 2-1. I think based on that first 45 minutes, that probably suits, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. We just need a goal in it. And as I said, I don't want extra time in this because I need to get me prep in for England. But
well, you can just.
It is a game. It's very hard to pick the winner in this, even at half. You know, it was before the game, and even at half time, they're very equal. I think whoever wins out of England, Colombia, and I really obviously hope it's England. It won't be straightforward. It will be a challenge against these two teams because defensively they're very good and they're well-organised teams.
Yes, I'd agree with that. It's just going to be interesting though how they'll play against someone like England or Colombia because I think England or Colombia going into that game will be favourites, not clear favourites, but I think they probably will be favourites. So it'd be interesting to see how they set up, whether Sweden or Switzerland just completely sit back and try and hit on the counter, or whether they go toe-to-toe with England.
Yeah.
George says, I think it was...
Look around. Go on.
I think it was quite equal, but some good chances wasted by both teams. There you go. I mean, that's a fantastic summary by George. All you need to know is all in there. Equal chances for both teams. Sweden probably had the better chances, but equal, as you say.
I'm just having a quick look around on Twitter while you were chatting away there.
Shanta Ronaldo's open on my Twitter.
Yeah. I mean, look, I've seen people calling this game boring.
No.
I disagree. I've seen people on Twitter saying that England are totally underestimating Colombia. I definitely disagree. I don't think there's... I don't know anybody. What you've got to... just talk about England, Colombia a little bit, because I will be live with Mad Marcus later on with the beers and the biggest game in England for a long, long time. There is nobody underestimating Colombia at all. We've been in this situation so many times that I think anybody who's trying to say that the English think they get into the final or anything like that, they've got no idea what it's like to support England. We really are. I wouldn't say pessimistic, but we're very realistic when it comes to England playing in the World Cup. So, nobody's counting their chickens yet. It'd be absolutely fantastic for this World Cup because, from an English perspective, it'll be absolutely fantastic to continue. I mean, if England go out tonight, the watch-alongs still continue, the enthusiasm still continues because, actually, I haven't enjoyed England in this World Cup. To me, it doesn't feel like we're part of it yet because we beat Panama, we beat Tunisia easily. Well, not easily, but, we should have done and we did. We smashed Panama at Sunday lunchtime. It just felt like a relaxing Sunday dinner.
Yeah.
And then the Belgian game was reserves against reserves. So all the good things we've seen in this World Cup, I just don't feel that England have arrived yet. So if they were to go out tonight, I'd be massively disappointed, but it wouldn't change my excitement and enjoyment for the general World Cup. But it'd be brilliant if England can arrive tonight. And if they beat Colombia, they will arrive in this World Cup party. And then it suddenly gets, very, very interesting. But, if Colombia had turned up tonight and smashed England, I'd be gutted for 48 hours. But then I'd probably be like, well, I like Colombia. I hope they can make an impact in this tournament. They've never won it before. So it's massively intriguing. And I'm certainly not one of those people that are just, oh, yeah, we're going to win. It's coming home. Fair play for those people who think like that. But I don't. I think it's a challenge. And I'm just going to enjoy it. And if they win, I'm going to massively enjoy it.
You'll have one of those on with you tonight, mate. Because in the first game versus Tunisia, Marcus cracked me up going, yeah, we can get to the final, we can do this. Based on nothing, like he hadn't seen them play yet. He's going, yeah, final, I reckon. It's probably going to be a good one. And, but, I think if you thought the whole England hype and the football coming home thing is bad now, if you beat Colombia, Jesus Christmas.
Manchester scores 18s. They have a few danger men, but Colombia aren't as good as people think. Midfield's backline, goalkeeper, nothing amazing there. England is capable if they turn up. Yeah, I mean, their centre-backs, I forget the names of their centre-backs, actually. I know they've got Davinson Sanchez, and they've also got, is it Marina?
Yerry Mina. Yerry Mina.
Yeah, very, very good. He's got 2 goals already for them. And he's on the books of Barcelona. Mina, sorry, is his name. Yeah. But they got into, even before the red card against Japan, they got into right issues at the back, and I think you can get at them, the centre backs. You can get at their centre backs, and with Sterling and Lingard making the runs, that you've got to look at the strength of England. Harry Kane for me is one of the best number 9s in the world. Raheem Sterling, he's not fantastic, but his pace is a problem. Lingard and the runs he makes is a problem. You've got Dele Alli coming back. He can be very, very impactful. Trippier can deliver from the right. The 3 centre backs look okay. Henderson's just got to stand and do his job. So, it's there to be done.
Would you play Dele Alli or Loftus-Cheek?
Dele Alli for me, yeah. You've got to go with the experience.
Fair enough. Look at Belgium with Japan, though. Something can happen easily for Colombia versus England. 3 lines will need resolve. Yeah.
Well, Mini Diver just says there. Mini Diver says Sterling diving all over the place, but El Doctor 69 says England will need set pieces. Well, a lot of Colombia's goals have come from set pieces as well, so set pieces are going to be important for both teams. But England, if you're good at set pieces, it's big. And Kieran Burns, right, could be one of a left foot day. I mean, I love James Rodriguez. Everyone knows that who follows the United stand. I really do rate him, and I do call him one of a left foot, but. I want him to play tonight. I'm not one of those people. It's like when Real Madrid beat Liverpool. It was a very happy evening, but I didn't want them to be beating them just because Salah had gone off injured. I felt sorry for Salah, and I felt sorry for Liverpool, which sounds like an odd thing for me to say because I'm not. Obviously, they're a big rival of United, so no love lost with Liverpool. Yeah. But I don't want James Rodriguez to miss the game tonight. I don't think that ever works in your favour when their best players are out because it can galvanise a team. I want to play their best team.
Yeah, I mean, we see it with Portugal in the Euro final, didn't we? Ronaldo went off, and they wanted to win it for him.
Best example, actually.
Yeah. I doubt he'll start, to be honest. Me too, Kieran. I don't think he'll start, but I think he'll be on the bench, and if they need him, he'll come on. He won't be fully fit, so it will play into England's favour, of course. But there you go.
I don't think we'll see Rashford playing tonight, Michael Jones. He sort of failed his audition last week.
Yeah,
and
if he put that chance away, and you might have cast some doubt in Southgate's mind, but when he missed that chance,
he's an impact player anyway. Off the bench, he's an impact player. If Sterling plays badly again, you bring Rashford on. He's an impact player, and England certainly have players like that. If Dele Alli's having a bad game, you can bring Loftus-Cheek on. So
yeah, but that for me that. When he missed that chance was Rashford all over. Great pace, good run, no composure. But I don't understand it, because when Rashford first came on the scene against City, Midtjylland, not against City, against Arsenal, Midtjylland, and then obviously he scored that goal against City as well. He showed such composure. He showed such good finishing. But since, sort of after that season, after that half season for him, he's just completely lost it. I don't know what it is. When he gets in front of goal, I'm not confident. I am not confident that he'll put it away. But hopefully that'll come with time and experience and development.
Well, we will be live at around 6:30 tonight. The beers will be out, and it's going to be probably, apart from the United stand ones I do, it will definitely be the most real watch along I've done. Not that they're not real, but most of these games, I've wanted Portugal to win and they've gone out. I've wanted Mexico to win and they've gone out. But it doesn't define me. If England go out tonight, I will be, I'll feel it. And if we miss a chance like some of these Sweden ones, it won't just be, we should have scored. It will be, you bloody idiot! What are you doing? Because it matters more. So if you are feeling a little bit tense tonight and, you've not got loads of people to watch it with, get on the live watch along with us and share it and feel part of it, because it's going to be a big, big game. And there'll be a lot of people who want England to lose as well. So, it doesn't matter. We're not bothered about either way. And what I did say before, I didn't see anyone in the live comments. Have we got any Swedes or Swiss watching today? And what are your thoughts on this game? Be interested to know.
I think I got one or two, but don't think we got many.
Rob Hellfire says, Mark, I thought you hated England and the FA. Those videos and comments are out there, Rob. I totally stand by it. But I am English, and I used to absolutely love international football. International football, when I was a kid, was the sort of holy grail. It was massive. Your English, following the England team was really, really important. Italia 90 as a kid, I loved it. Euro 96 is my first tournament where I could drink, was amazing. 98 was fun, although we weren't in it long enough, really. But I think 2002 was amazing. Getting up at 7 a.m. in the morning and watching games was brilliant. But I think after 2006 was the last one I enjoyed. 2008, we didn't make it with the Wally with the Brolly. 2002, 10 World Cup was rubbish. 2014 was even worse. And I think the last decade as an England fan has really been hard to stomach because the FA just seemed to appoint yes men. The team was always based on reputation and not building a team. And a lot of people fell out of love with England, and a lot of people, resented international breaks. And I hate international breaks at the start of the season.
Yeah.
And I said to somebody yesterday, imagine England do well in this World Cup, and we continue to bring youth through, and we continue to play to this system. I think I'll become more agreeable with the international breaks, because some countries love the international breaks because they love their country and they love watching them. But I make no apologies that over the last 10 years, I've not liked England, and I have never liked the FA, to be honest, because I think it's archaic, and I think the appointments they make are based on, yes men. And I think Southgate, to be fair,
he's done well.
He is a yes man, but he's done quite well in that role as a yes man. But
yeah.
Ericsson was a disaster. Capello was even worse. Allardyce, McLaren. There's some of their appointments have just been a joke. And it goes, the FA's been terrible for years. I mean, even before I was, born, Brian Clough should have been manager, but they didn't want somebody with a personality. If Mourinho was English, they'd never give him the job because they don't want somebody who's, might be the best manager in the world, but is vocal. They want a yes man. And but they've reignited my passion. I've got to be honest, they really have, because they're far more interesting to watch, and that's all you ask for.
I still want international breaks though. 3 games into the season, you're starting to really get into the flow of things now. Oh, and you got a 2-week break.
Yeah, I do think that international football does suit the summer because your club's not playing. And
yeah, I tweeted that out. Gone.
Feels a big gap in the summer.
Yeah, I tweeted that out. Imagine, right? Think about United's last game against Watford. Think about that, right? When they had the whole thing with the Carrick and he came through the Guard of Honour and all that sort of stuff, right? Well, from then until what is it, in about a month's time or whatever, about 2-3 weeks time, United wouldn't have played at all. Your club wouldn't have played at all, and we'd have had no football. And I know we always have it, but it would just been a nightmare. Explain Definitely. A yes man. That's Prince Fresh says, explain a yes man.
Anyway, we're just about to kick off here, so let's see if we can get a winner in normal time, please.
Don't set me off. Oh dear. Right. Let me know when you're although my my CPU's it's alright, but it's struggling. You off?
Not yet, no.
Okay. Extra time and penalties. I'm sure Mark will love that. Look out for Mbolo next half. Yeah, I think he's going to be a good impact off the bench.
Is he on?
No. But look, if he...
I don't know why Switzerland don't start him.
I don't know why either. He's not started any.
He reminds me a lot of a Lukaku or a Harry Kane type of striker. And I know he's a bit young and a little bit raw, but... Yeah. Lukaku's like that, and I think those sort of strikers cause teams problems.
Yeah, indeed.
Remember, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right-hand corner, we're hoping to hit 42,000 today. And this is the game where we will see who is going to play England versus Colombia. I think based on that so far, the same thing tonight. We don't really know what England and Colombia are about either, but whoever plays the Sweden or Switzerland, they are going to be playing a team that's very well organised and can certainly create chances. Whether they can finish them off, I think, is in doubt. Even Switzerland had a very good chance where you just stroke it in the bottom corner, put it over the bar.
Indeed.
Ryan says Ronaldo to Juventus ? Question mark.
Yeah,
we touched on it a little bit in the first half. I think we both sort of said, Xander, that we'd be very surprised if it happened, but
Yeah.
I think it would be would make a lot of sense to Ronaldo.
But what's the weight behind it? You said it feels like it's got a bit of weight behind it. What is that weight?
So there's a few people in Spain. I mean, I don't even know them, but I sort of did a bit of research, and they're quite big accounts. One of which is meant to be, sort of have the ear of Florentino Perez, and they're saying that Ronaldo is going to leave, and Juventus quite looks like the likely destination at the moment. I mean, a lot of people were saying no. If he does leave, it's PSG or Juventus.
That's what I think.
PSG is. They can afford him, but it's a pub league, and I think that's below him at the moment. He's, I know he's 33, but he's still the best player in the world with Messi, and I think that league's below him. As we've seen with Neymar, it's not a good place to go when you're that good.
Yeah.
United would be a dream, but he has done it before, and I just think Serie A, bit slower.
Yeah, you're right.
He'd score a lot of goals, and Juventus are a team that can win a Champions League. So
yeah, if he went there, galvanised and won him a Champions League,
And also, on his CV, I've done it in Italy.
That's what
and
I'm
I've
saying,
done it in Spain, and I've done it in England. Sit down, Messi. I'm the best there is.
That's because if he goes back to England, then it's like, all right, well, okay, you've already done that, mate. Like, you know what I mean? But,
yeah, it's like going back, isn't it? It can only go wrong in many ways because you've already been brilliant in this league before. Oh, you're not as good as you were before. So I don't know. I'd love him to Manchester United, but I mean, Nick Archer says MLS. No, way too soon. I mean, Ronaldo and Rooney's gone to the MLS because he's finished. Yeah. That's why he's going to the MLS. Ronaldo to go to the MLS would be ridiculously stupid. He's not. He's got 2 or 3 years left at the very, very top.
People always say that, Rooney, he was broke on the scene at 16, he's played a load of games, but Ronaldo broke on the scene at 18, he came to United, wasn't it? I know he didn't play that week in, week out, but, he's still been, it's not like Ronaldo was just sort of sitting on the couch until he was 20, you know what I mean?
Rooney declined quickly because he didn't look after himself.
Well, that's the thing, there's that famous quote, isn't it? Well, not the quote, but the quote of the fitness coach, something like that, when it was like... Yeah. Oh, Rooney, you should, if you want to prolong your career, when you gotta look after yourself. And he just said, I'm just interested in playing footy. And that's the difference between Ronaldo and Rooney. They're both the same age, or just about. And one's going to the MLS and has been finished for about 3 or 4 years. And one's probably going to win the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, and Rooney, how many times has he been seen drinking on international breaks, smoking? It's like,
Ronaldo doesn't drink.
No.
He doesn't drink.
And his fitness obsession is an obsession.
Whether it comes from vanity or whether it comes from the actual just fitness side of it, I think it's a mixture of both. But it does, regardless, it benefits him, like you say.
Great bit of play by Forsberg there. Header comes back. Over the bar again with a volley. Bloody hell.
It must be these balls. I don't know what it is, but we've seen a lot, like you say, a lot of balls go over the bar.
Exactly.
I think it's just also just lack of composure and lack of quality in the final third. But it's been a good game. Well, we're about 3 minutes. 3 minutes into this second half. 4 minutes. Sorry.
If it was a rugby game, it'd be 15-all.
Yeah. I think Sir Alex focusing more on Ronaldo really impacted Rooney's development. I think maybe Rooney did have to do the slight dirty work for Ronaldo, but they were still crucial to the team. Both of them together.
Switzerland. Oh, keeper's got it away. Oh no, the keeper. It was somebody else.
I was watching just before I went live. The whole teammates. No, that was yesterday evening. But the teammates video of Lindelof on YouTube, Manchester United's YouTube channel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it yet. And I was it was just going through DJ Classic, Ashley Young, and all that sort of thing. And then it just went gamer, and I thought, who could be the gamer? And it went Luke Shaw, and I just thought, classic, isn't it? He's just sitting on his arse playing Fortnite or something like that. I could just imagine him sitting there just ramping up the McDonald's. Have you seen that
Who was
photo?
that footballer at Manchester United, or I think he was on loan from Manchester United. What was his name? Nick Powell. That was it.
Oh yeah, he said I'd
He was
rather play
asked about
FIFA.
United's loss in the Champions League, and he was like, "I didn't watch it. I was playing FIFA."
Yeah, he's a wanker, isn't he? He's ended up at a hole or something like that. But the thing is, what I don't understand is when Louis van Gaal brought Nick Powell on, everyone was like, "What the bloody hell? Why are we bringing Nick Powell on to win the game?" But then when Jurgen Klopp or Pep Guardiola brings on Phil Foden or something like that to win the game, everyone's like, "Oh, he's bringing in youth to do this and that." I don't.
Joydeep says the World Cup ball's crap. Yep, I think it is. It's very light anyway.
Do you remember that Jubilani, the 2010 South Africa World Cup ball?
Yeah.
That was mad.
The other thing is they always invent a new ball for the World Cup, don't they? And it's not always a good thing, to be honest.
I really actually liked that 2010 World Cup ball. I know it was mad, and I know it was just so unpredictable, but I like the look of it. I don't know, I just liked it.
Abbas says football's coming home. Look, to be honest with you, my arse is twitching like a bunny's nose at the moment, and I've almost lost a stone today. I don't normally go this many times without being too crude. The nerves are building. Here's Switzerland anyway, and a good block there to stop the cross. They're still very end-to-end, this. I think even if we got a goal, the other one would probably equalise straight away. It's that sort of game. Everyone's missing chances, then we'll get 2 goals.
Yeah, I can see that happening. But it does look... Well, I reckon Sweden might nick it in like the 80th minute, but it does look like an extra time penalties type game, doesn't it?
I think Sweden have just about phased it for me.
They've edged it in terms of who's playing better, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, now you've seen this, would you then prefer Switzerland for England in the quarterfinal?
No, I actually would prefer Sweden. I think Sweden, even if I was Brazil, France, or anything like that, I would prefer Sweden over Switzerland. I think Switzerland are potentially a better, quicker football team. Sweden are a little bit more of a defensive team to break down, and they haven't got genuine pace up front. So I would always rather play Sweden, but they're the better team in this game, and they were brilliant against Mexico. So it's a bit weird, really, but I think I would prefer to play Sweden.
Fair enough. I think, both. It's fantastic that we're even talking about England potentially in the quarterfinal playing Sweden or Switzerland, but yeah.
Brethren says we are surely going to see a Sweden win. Sorry, by 2-0 says that. Jay Hart says Switzerland have got more attacking options at the front. Well, yeah, they have. They've got Embolo on the bench, haven't they? So I think Switzerland are the better team, which is proven by their FIFA ranking. But I mean, Sweden deserve to be in front at the moment. Maybe Sweden were brilliant against Mexico. They were effective against Germany. They were very unlucky to lose that game.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't unlucky actually. I think Germany deserved to win it. I think Sweden's tactics in the last 10 minutes when they were up against 10 men were
too much respect in
silly to sit back. But Shaqiri needed to be careful then, or he would have been out.
Well, it probably favoured them losing that game, to be honest, because now they're this side of the group, aren't they? Or this side of the tournament.
Yeah.
This is the most chance to win the World Cup we've had in a while. I think people just look at the route to the final and think, oh yeah, that's doable. But then they forget what's in the other half of the tournament. They forget that, yes, Brazil, France and Belgium are all still in it. Just, one of them will get to the final.
Andy Ramos has just made a great point. He says Rooney not being in the World Cup is a massive help for England. And I think you're right. I think England with Rooney in the team may well have gone the same way as Messi at Argentina, where you've got this big player in the team and it's like everything sort of rests on them. And instead of playing as a team, you've got this focal point. And Rooney never did that well in World Cup. So I think you're right. I think you're spot on with that. Good comment.
And not only that, but he's just not good enough. Like he's just not a good enough player anymore. And I'm sure he would have started.
I did think he would. I thought when he went to Everton from United, it was only a year ago, I thought it's a right move for him. He's not going to be playing in a top 4 team anymore.
Yeah.
He'll play week in, week out. The pressure will be less.
Yeah.
And I think he will, play for Everton and he will go to the World Cup. But he retired pretty quickly, didn't he, from international football? And then, by all accounts, from Everton fans, he was pretty much continued his form at United. And Rooney was so loved at United. And I for many years, I loved him. But I went off him because I always judge a player. They're always a great, and he is a United great. But in the last 3 years, especially when he was given the captaincy, he was bad, and somebody shouldn't avoid that criticism just because they've been a great in the past.
I think what it was, is an amalgamation of things. One, it was just the fact that he just couldn't be dropped, and we were talking about, is it in his contract, is it this and that? Everyone just seemed to play him because he was Rooney, but ignoring his awful performances. I most notably remember his performance against Watford, and he was at fault for the 2 goals. It was just awful. He played so bad, and he just continued to get picked, and it was so frustrating. That added on to the fact that it was so obvious that he was playing so badly, but everyone in the media was friends with him. You know, he had friends in the media and pundits, that they didn't criticise him. They were saying, oh, he's Wayne, he's Rooney, he's still a quality player, he's this and that if you just play him, right? But it was so obvious that he was finished, it just built up the frustration, and we all just were done with it.
Yeah, Mourinho did well to get rid of him because...
Yes, he did, yeah.
He was a problem at the club where he was just not the same Rooney anymore, but he was still getting picked, and that was making United a worse team for it. But Alec Ducas is right. He's a United legend. He's out all-time top goal scorer and has the most assists in the Premier League history. Well, I don't want to get into that Alec Ducas because there are United fans, big United fans, who would never call him a legend. Some people would call him a great. So, a lot of people, some United fans don't even like him because of him asking to leave, but
twice, wasn't it?
He was amazing when he first came to the club in the first few years. Some of the goals he scored, some of the performances he put in, the effort levels. He was a cracking player.
This is the thing. I don't remember any of that. Because when did he join? When did he sign?
I think it was 2000 and... Was it 4 or 5?
Right, well, there you go. I was 4 or 5, so whichever one it was. So I really only got into United... Sort of, obviously I've always supported United, but as a kid, I'd always just rather play it than watch it. I could never sit for a full 90. I'd just get bored. So I fully got into United, probably end of David Moyes, beginning of Van Gaal, fully watching every game. So that's the Wayne Rooney I remember, not the bulldog who was just fantastic running rampant. So I understand, and from what I hear and from clips I've seen and things like that, he's a fantastic player. And I saw bits and pieces, but the Wayne Rooney I remember is the one that we've seen in the last 4 or 5 years.
Ziggy says, I'm Swedish, but the national team is so boring. We have no strikers and we play boring football, so I'm just waiting for the new Manchester United season. See, Ziggy, as a non-Swede, I think you've been quite good in this game. Yeah. I agree with you that you don't really have a number 9, and that doesn't help, but defensively you're well organised. They do move the ball around quite well, but... couldn't hit the ocean from a boat is probably about right in relation to your finishing, especially in this game.
Just they need to be more clinical and more composed, don't they? Because they've had opportunities. If they were just that slightly more composed in the final third, they'd be up here.
Yeah.
This game is going to extra time and penalties. We still got half an hour left, just over that. Plus stoppage time as well. I'm not going to call that yet. I think Sweden have been better, and on the face of things, it looks like Sweden are going to win it. But you never know, do you?
I think Damien Gasson's right. You missed the good era of United.
Oh, definitely, mate. Well, people call me, you're a glory hunter. Well, I've only fully got into it, and we finished 7th, 4th, 5th, 6th.
See, I look at what I had, and I was about. Well, I was in single... I remember 1990 World Cup really well.
Yeah.
But I was, quite young then. And then, that massively got me into football because I loved Italia 90. Mm. And then, within 2 years of that, Premier League starting, and that's when United's dominance is there. And then I'm hitting drinking age for Euro 96 and 99,
Yeah.
Treble. It's just great.
I was watching the Europa League... I had an exam don't follow this. I had a GCSE exam the next day, but we just moved house, so I didn't have Wi-Fi, so I couldn't watch the game online, and we didn't have a TV. This is for the Europa League final, and so I went to the bar. I went to the bar to watch it, my exam the next day, but I was still in my school uniform, which is just a shirt and I had trousers on, shirt on, top button undone, that sort of thing. So I looked like I just come home from work, and I was jumping about with these, arm in arm, singing and chanting. With all these 40-year-olds, the whole pub was packed. And when I said that I wasn't alive for the 1999 treble, they were like, what? What? They were just baffled. But yeah, I have a resentment towards my parents for not having me before that, because if I saw that, I would have gone absolutely nuts.
Well, who's been booked here? Is that Barami?
I don't know, mate.
Yeah, so he misses the next match. So Lustig for Sweden and Barami for Switzerland have both been booked, and they would miss the next match if they get through. It looked a bit soft, that yellow card, to be honest. But, you know, it just drops into my head there. I don't know how many people, you know, maybe some people are even doing it now. I don't know how many people have listened to football on the radio, because growing up I used to listen to a lot of matches on the radio. You didn't have, you know, internet streams that you could get hold of easily. And
not that we would do that.
Not that you would do that. And yeah, I used to listen to so much football on the radio, and I still do every now and again. If I'm on a, you know, I listened to France-Denmark in the group stage because I was driving from Nottingham to home and over lunchtime to get back for the Argentina game. But yeah, I do. You know, radio was sort of what I grew up with, which is weird because it's never how you imagine it when you watch the goals later on Match of the Day. But
I've had to stop the timer, guys, because my CPU just couldn't handle it. So, well, I don't know what it was. Maybe I've got something going on in the background. I don't have any windows open, but I've just shut the timer down. So I'll keep you updated on the time as well.
Yeah, I've listened to so many United games on the radio over the years.
I've never. You were my radio mate. I remember standing in my nan's kitchen listening to you. You know, you won't get an apology from Van Gaal in the club, so we're giving you one now. You're on the United stand.
Yeah, I remember those days.
That's me, mate. I was watching that. That was I've been
Here's a break on Forsberg. Switzerland have got loads of players back though. Oh, he'll get a free kick there. Edge of the box, free kick. I mean, right, it's on the other side of the edge of the box, though. It's a wing edge of the box, so it's not really a shooting chance. It's more of a crossing chance.
It's been a good game, though, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's not. It just needs a goal.
Yeah.
A goal now. A goal in the next 15 minutes would just set it up perfectly. I am doing the watch along for the England game. Yeah.
It'll be joined by Marcus as well, and they'll both have a few drinks down them. So it's going to be... If you thought last night was funny, and you thought last night was entertaining, watch Mark go out of his mind, you've not seen anything yet, because he's going to be... The stress levels are going to be up there.
Don't remind me. Yeah, I do remember CFAX and Teletext to everybody else who remembers it.
My granddad was watching that, like, in 2016, Teletext.
I tell you what, when I was a kid, I'd have my Sabutio out. Again, people won't know what that is.
Yeah, what is that?
It's like it's a piece of green cloth, which is a football pitch.
Okay.
And then you've got little men that you flick around with a ball. So I used to play it all the time as a kid. It was it's like crap. It was our FIFA when we were kids.
Were you going then as well? Were you then going as well? It's scripted. It's scripted.
Yeah. No, I could script it myself with that. But so I'd have that on an afternoon on a Saturday. I'd be playing my Sabutio, and I'd also have Teletext page for the results on, which would just change from page 1 to 2 to 3. I mean, if United were on page 2, you'd wait for it to go round. Oh no, still 0-0. And then when there was a goal, you'd go, oh look, it's 1-0. It's huge. You know, there was no. You weren't even getting audio. It was literally a page change from page 1, because they could only get 3 games on each page. Yeah. And then it would just rotate from page 1, 2, and 3 on your telly, and you just wait for page 2. Oh look, it's still 0-0. Oh shit, they've conceded to Coventry. So that was it as well. You don't know you're born these days.
Oh, brilliant.
Then Soccer Saturday. I mean, that was years ago. We used to have like George Best, Rodney Marsh doing Soccer Saturday like Merson and everyone does now.
Yeah.
That was revolutionary then. It was like, brilliant. I don't have to do teletext anymore. I can just watch people watching the game.
Oh, well, that's what it is a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, it always makes me laugh because you get people say, oh, I can't understand why people watch the United stand when there's a watch-along, watching somebody watch the game. And I'm like, yeah, but Soccer Saturday have done it for years.
The reason I started watching was because I was going out my mind, so angry, and I needed to share my opinion with people and just hear other people as frustrated as me. So yeah, I stumbled across it and I was like, yeah, I could get used to this.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point of the fan channels that I'm involved in, and it really is just a place that I used to get so frustrated after games You know, if United lose a game, I'd be like, I'd text my mate a couple of times, that was it. I would go on a forum and I'd just keep refreshing it, waiting for someone to reply, which would take, minutes. Whereas if you go on something like this, you've instantly got somebody gabbing on, there's the live comments, and it's just instant reaction straight after a game where you can either celebrate or you can vent your frustration about what's gone on.
Yeah, as I said, I got involved watching when Van Gaal, after that sort of like the Stoke game at Christmas on Boxing Day and the Norwich game and all that sort of stuff as well. I was watching when Droughty. Do you remember when Droughty was doing the devil thing in front of his face?
Oh yeah.
That's when I was watching then as well.
Is Sweden? Come on, let's get a goal for once. Forsberg, edge of the box. He'll hit this. In!
Oh.
Get in! It's deflected in, but we've got a goal at last.
Deserve it, don't they?
Forsberg hit it. I'd be interested to see if it was going to go in. It deflected off Switzerland's number 5, which is Akanji, who's done very well in this tournament. And keeper's got no chance, Sommer then. But I'd be interested to watch this back and see if it would have gone in anyway. It's fell to Forsberg, who had the technique. And unlike anybody else, he hit it low.
They deserve that, to be fair, Sweden, don't they? I know the deflection, as you say, we'll wait to see the replay, and I'm sure you'll update us with that. But they deserve it. They've been the better side. They've had the majority of the chances. And, fair play to them. It's a deserved goal. It's a deserved goal.
I think it's going straight at the keeper before it hits the deflection.
That's the sort of luck you need, though, isn't it? You know, that sort of thing. They have been working. You create your own luck, and like I said, it has been coming for him. Yeah,
it's an easy save for the keeper, but the defender puts his foot out, and it goes in the top corner. And on the balance of play, I think Switzerland fans will be gutted because it's a bit of a lucky goal. But having said that, the chances that Sweden have missed. Well, we've got that goal I said about 5 minutes ago. This game needs a goal in the next 10 minutes to set up the last 20 minutes. And, will Sweden now sit back? I wouldn't.
Oh, no. Well, we always, when we talk about this, what should they do now? I always never change a game plan. It just doesn't work. Then you invite pressure and you start to panic. Look, there's still, 35 minutes left in this game? A bit more maybe with stoppage time. Don't panic. Just keep doing your same game plan. Don't do a Jose Mourinho, go 1-0 up and just park the bus. It's just so risky.
Xhaka has just been booked. Danny Smith says that was actually a dreadful shot by Forsberg. It was so bad, I think it encouraged the defender to sort of try and clear it, and then it's deflected into the goal.
But, well, I think Sweden will go on to win this game, to be honest with you. I'm hoping it's sort of 1 in 90 minutes, because as you say, I don't want to see an extra time penalties in this, because, I was saying before you came on, Mark Tate, I said, he won't like extra time penalties, but I said, he'd rather have it in this game than this evening. But, I think it will be 1, and I think it will be Sweden to win, but you never know. Like I said, still quite a bit of time left, so.
Syed says, what do you think of Forsberg? I think he's been in this tournament in general, he's been okay. But in this game, I think he's probably had his best game. He's been very, very good. Another shot over the bar from the number 8. I tell you what, if he was Johnny Wilkinson, he'd have a brilliant rugby career.
The Mexicans
he's over the bar so many bloody times. He could have had a hat trick. Ekdal.
Is it that same guy again?
Yeah. Shot straight at the keeper there from Rodriguez.
He's a decent left back.
He can be kept down.
I rate Rodriguez, that left back. I think he's a good player.
Yeah, he's good.
He played at Wolfsburg, didn't he? And he was good, and then he went to AC Milan.
Yeah.
He's a decent player, that. I wanted him at United. I think we were linked to him a few times.
No, Forsberg's a good player, Archie, but I think if people are sort of then going to say they take him at United, no, I don't think he's that good. But no. He's played well today.
Indeed. Mark, the party started in Sweden. I bet it has, mate. Well, like I said, still about 20 minutes left plus stoppage time, but yeah.
Well, we said that, didn't we? It's a bit like Japan. If Sweden or Switzerland gets to the quarterfinal, which one of them will do, that's a massive achievement, a quarterfinal in a World Cup.
Yeah, massively, yeah. Like, even for England, and I think these teams aren't as developed in football way, if that makes sense, than England. But yeah, a quarter-final for these two teams would be absolutely brilliant.
And also, as I said before, whoever gets through from England, Colombia, and I hope it is England, absolutely no way is it a walk in the park in the quarter-final. Sweden and Switzerland, very, very well-organised, good team. So, I mean, I think England would be, or Colombia probably would be favourites to win. But not massively, it'd be a tough game.
But in the context of what you could have got in other World Cups, it is a massive opportunity, isn't it?
That's a great opportunity for both. If you've got, Sweden would want England or Colombia, and England would want Sweden or Switzerland, because, normally in a quarter-final you'd expect to be getting a France, a Spain, a Germany, a Brazil, and Argentina. So, both of them would be all four of these teams that are still in it, because Switzerland is still in it, would be absolutely ecstatic with the quarter-final they'll potentially get. And Shaqiri shoots it, and it's gone for a deflection, but it goes wide.
I bring on Embolo is what I say for Switzerland now. Bring on Embolo.
Interesting comment from Andy Pan. He says, I've seen at least 70 games with Forsberg during the years, always performing, except for the last 11 weeks. He's been out of form, but would suit very well in United. Well, maybe that's a good cross there from Shaqiri. I think it will go for another corner. I mean, maybe that's a very valid point from Andy Pandy, because Forsberg is a good player and he's got a good reputation, but I don't think he's been anywhere near his level in the World Cup. But having said that, I'd be a hypocrite to say you've got to judge him on that, because, how many great players have not had a good World Cup? Messi, Ronaldo, De Gea. So you can't judge him on the World Cup. I just don't think he's been very good in the World Cup.
No offence.
I didn't think he would, but then again, I did watch him in the Europa League, the RP Leipzig, and didn't they get knocked out in the semis? He wasn't that good in them either. So maybe Andy Pandy's right that he's just a bit out of form the last few months. But he's a little bit older than I thought as well. I think he's 26, 27. So
right.
I think if he was 22, you'd be like, oh, he's going to be one of the best.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Yeah. But there you go.
Switzerland looking like they're going to score now. I said this would happen. Crying out for a goal, and then I bet we'll get another goal.
Well, I don't want to see it go to penalties, but I think it'd still be interesting. Make it an interesting finish to the game if Switzerland can get a goal now. Definitely.
Cheers, Snaps. Cheers, Matthew McFadden. Cheers to the moderators anyway. They're absolutely fantastic, and we don't say that enough. They do a great job.
It'd be absolute havoc.
Snaps and Matthew with us today. I don't know who's doing the England game. They'll be rushing to do it, no doubt. But
if Matthew's doing it, you get to if Colombia score, you're just going to see yes.
Yeah.
Embolo on, is he coming on? Well, there you go. That's what I said to do. And I'm not going to pronounce Severovic is coming on, number 9 for Switzerland as well. I am cheering on England. Yeah, it's just if they go out, it's a sort of win-win, because if they go out, I'm disappointed, but I'm not that arsed. But also, if they go through, I don't feel the jubilation that Mark and other English people may feel,
I think Lindelof's done quite well. Obviously, a bit of United bias. I think he's done well. He just shows to me that I'm not saying he's the solution for Manchester United, but Lindelof just keeps showing me that he should be playing regularly. He should be given a chance.
Yes, I think so. I think he will do. I don't think Mourinho was necessarily very disappointed with this season. I don't think that Mourinho expected him to hit the ground running, because he is only 22, and for a centre back, that's very young. He's just going to have to develop, and hopefully Baye can stay fit, and then him and Lindelof can form a partnership, because Baye and Lindelof is I think the perfect partnership. You've got an absolute bruiser and a tank in Baye who's just going to go straight through people, and then a ball player in Lindelof, and so I think that'd be fantastic. And there's quite a lot of pace in Lindelof and Baye as well. Just imagine the fans reacting to England losing and also Kane not scoring. I don't think it would be anger. I just think it should be disappointment. Well, maybe, I don't know, Mark, would you be angry or disappointed if England went out?
I wouldn't be angry or disappointed. I think it would be... I think it would just be, I expected that at the start of the tournament,
Right, yeah.
And I think I'd just go, all this enthusiasm everybody had was just because Panama and Tunisia were crap, because I'm being very realistic about it. I think England can win tonight, but do we know how good England are really? Have their performances been hyped up because they beat Tunisia and Panama, who aren't that good?
Yes.
What would Brazil and France and some of the other teams in this tournament have done to Panama? Would they have won 10-0? Would they have won 12-0? Or would they? Or are England a good team?
Well, people argue you can only beat what's in front of you, and they have done that. So.
Yeah.
apart from Belgium.
So I would feel deflated, as Evil127 says, if England lost, because there is a lot of belief, especially in the country. There's so many St George's flags. There's so many people who aren't normally into football who are excited. You know, I was walking my daughter to school today, and they have World Cup lunches and everything. And that's, you know, when you get a positivity in a nation, it's a good thing, and you want it to continue. But if we did get knocked out because we weren't actually that good, I wouldn't be like stunned. I'd be like, yeah, you know, obviously we weren't that good. But I'd be very disappointed because I want to believe. I want it to be good. And by 9 o'clock tonight, we'll know. We'll know whether it was all a dream or whether it was all a reality. Sweden into the box here. Not giving the penalty. Still on the edge of the box. Forsberg again.
Switzerland sit to the goal have grown into the game, haven't they? But I still think Sweden are going to win this game.
We've got 15 minutes left.
Plus stoppage time.
What's the St George's flag, Jordan Thompson? It's the white England flag with the red cross.
That's sort of
it's a white flag with the red cross, which is the England flag.
It's got sort of negative connotations, doesn't it, now? But it shouldn't have, but it sort of does a little bit.
Well, it's this sort of political correct world, isn't it? But the St George's cross has been around for hundreds of years, so, you know, it's just it's idiotic if it gets... you know, offends people as a symbol of some of the. I think it's seen as a symbol as some of these EDL English Defence League and all that. Yeah. But you know what? It was claimed by the English as an English flag made way before then. So you can't have something offensive that's, you know, historically its meaning has been around for hundreds of years.
Exactly. It just sort of has, to some people, it's sort of like Brexit means Brexit type, like, you know, like the whole like Barry Stanton type.
Yeah, I hope we have got a lot of people watching later on. It'd be great to be able to take so many opinions and share it through the game, because it'd be good to have people who don't want England to win as well, because that realism, you know, can make for a balanced and better stream, definitely. But Mbolo's coming into the box here, and they clear it for a corner. I can see Switzerland getting a goal here.
Do you reckon you'll beat your 2,300 viewers that you got?
I'm not convinced. I think. Sometimes you think you're going to get big numbers on a stream and it doesn't always follow through. But be nice if we do. But if not, you know, I'm going to enjoy it anyway. I think it's helpful for me, and it'll be helpful for Marcus as England fans to be able to, you know that we're not on our own watching it, and we've got a big community that we can, you know, interact with. That's been the great thing about the World Cup so far.
Exactly. Definitely all in for the England match. Why Jose by Lindelof and Eric B, and he don't let them play together? I think it's just a matter of Bay being injured and Lindelof needing development time. Anyway, about 15 minutes left, I reckon, plus sort of included with stoppage time.
I'm Love GT says 1-1, please. I do think Switzerland will get a big chance.
I think so. 1 or 4 to them, and it's whether they take it or not. I know that sounds quite simplistic, but they will get a big chance, and it's just how clinical they can be. There always is, isn't there? There's always one more chance.
Shaqiri with the corner. Last corner was very, very good. He whips it in nicely around the 6-yard box. Keeper needs to really come and claim this if he does it again, because it's a pain in the backside to try and defend this if he does it again.
Well, do they have much height in the box, Switzerland? Rodriguez is quite tall.
Mbolo, yeah.
How tall is Mbolo?
Oh no! Cleared. Header comes down. I think it's Forsberg. Hits him. It's bouncing around in the 6-yard box. And number 4, Grongfist, batters it clear. Still got 10 minutes to go. Bandit Clans 24 is from Colombia, but supports England and Colombia. I think the weird thing is who is left in the tournament. The 2 teams I support the most are probably England and Colombia.
Yeah.
But before the tournament started, my 3 teams were England, Colombia, and Mexico.
Yeah, and whoever plays against Brazil.
Yeah, I mean I do like Croatia, but
I like Croatia. They've been my tip.
I only have 1 team left that I genuinely supported at the start tonight, because Colombia or England will go out.
It's a massive game, isn't it? It's an absolutely massive game. I can't call it. I think it's going to be so tight, and you just must be I'd be shaking the whole way through, honestly.
Yeah.
Right, it's good that you got Marcus on at least.
Oh, Mr. Confident, yeah.
Mate, he made me laugh so much. It was before, so it was 0-0 Tunisia. He's like, yeah, we're gonna go to the final, we're gonna get semi-finals at least, or this and that. And then Tunisia score. It was like, and he said they won't concede until the round of 16. He said, and I was just Tunisia scored, and I was like, brilliant. Lee, it's because of my Shaqiri is a great left foot on his day, and you know Shaqiri's biggest criticism is that he's very inconsistent. But when he turns it on, oh my Jesus, he turns it on, and he can change a game. He can absolutely change a game. So don't sleep on Shaqiri, definitely not. I said it before the tournament. France would win it. They're massive favourites as well, aren't they? France, Brazil, and Belgium. I mean, that half of the tournament, whoever gets to the final from that half will be massive favourites. And on paper, they've all got fantastic teams. So, love the World Cup, but missed missed club football. You know what? I agree with you, Jamie. Are you getting a bit of that as well, Mark? Or
what's that?
Like loving the World Cup, but missing club football a little bit.
No, not at the moment. I'm enjoying the World Cup. I think some of the stresses of the club transfer window. United have done a couple of weird things recently that would normally have me very frustrated. But the World Cup's been sort of a medicine, really. It's been a great little bubble to just jump into, and now I'm loving the prospect of club football. But I'm definitely don't want the World Cup to end. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I just can't wait. Just to get the season up and running, and I know people are feeling quite pessimistic, but I just want to see what we're made of. I hope Kane and Rashford start up front and not Sterling. Rashford won't start, mate, and they won't play two up front either. I'm in between. I honestly don't know what to make of England based on what we've seen. So more intrigued than confident. That's a good point, you know. More intrigued than confident. I think that's probably the right way to go about it. I'm intrigued. I'm not confident. I'm not confident, if that makes sense. I'm just intrigued to see what England are really made of.
Well, Switzerland are pushing here, trying to get a goal. And I just feel there'll be a chance for Switzerland.
I think Sweden will be good enough.
The extra time if they get it, but the thing is, though, I sort of felt this with, I can't remember which game it was, but this game has definitely had that feeling. You're in a knockout stage of the World Cup, and I feel that Switzerland will, if they go out of this game, or even if they get an extra time, goal to take it to extra time, they really need to look back at themselves over 70 minutes and think, is 90 minutes in a game, what have you done in the first 70 minutes? You've not shown enough urgency.
That's Spain you were talking about.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous to blame it on David De Gea when they've had 120 minutes to break down Russia, and you should be looking at the strikers and the tactics and the whole team rather than a keeper who, who's got a 50-50 chance of saving the ball or not. Come on, Sweden, says Luke Skywalker. Well, I mean, I don't know where you're from, whether you're Swedish, whether you're English, but it is intriguing, and whoever gets through will be massive for these teams to get to the quarterfinal. You see De Gea's post on Instagram? I did see that. Did you see Herrera's comment? That inspired me. And I was happy with that. There is no Swiss team. There is only a Kosovo team. I hope Sweden will... Did you see the whole F racism thing from Sweden?
You are?
Basically, after the guy that gave away the foul for Cruz, who actually scored it in the end, which lost in the game, he was getting battered with loads of racism,
I did see that,
and death threats and all that sort of stuff. So they came out in the next training session, and all the team behind him, staff, everything, he came out and said how it's unacceptable, and then he went, right boys, and then he went, fuck racism, like F racism, like that. And I just thought it was really good, all with the middle fingers up. I just thought it was a less politically correct way of just going... Yeah, I just liked it. I don't know.
Switzerland are pushing here. Good play by Rodriguez. Good cross as well. Well, he's not somebody gambling on the back post there. Goes for a corner.
There will be a chance, though. There's about 5 minutes left of the full 90, but then also stoppage time. Stoppage time, I don't see there being too much, but it's about 4 minutes, I reckon. 3 minutes, 4 minutes. We've got a lot of stoppage time in these World Cups, haven't we? I think that's because of VAR, but... What's the rule in VAR and stoppage time, do you know? Like, because obviously a substitute's 30 seconds, isn't it?
I don't know.
No, I don't know. I guess they just stop the timer.
Yeah. I think they do tend to stop the watch for VAR, actually. Whereas substitutes, they don't.
Yeah, it's just 30 seconds added on, isn't it, I think?
Yeah. I do think if... well, there's a chance here for Switzerland, so I might need to regress from what I was just going to say, because Switzerland are on the attack here. 85 minutes, Shaqiri, cross, back post, over. I think if Sweden win this, I don't know what people in the live comments think, but I think people, the neutrals will start warming to Sweden.
I think so.
Because they will be in the final 8 if they get there. They will be the sort of biggest outsiders.
Well, I won't be warming to them because I want England to do well, but if they beat England, obviously I'm going to be backing them in the semis against Croatia. I think Croatia-Sweden will be a cracker, actually.
Well, I like Sweden, and I've always liked Sweden, and I think they're just they're a very inoffensive team in the most, in the nicest way possible. They're not really, they're hardworking, and they're not a team that anyone's going to dislike. So,
Andy Panny says, no doubt in my mind that we'll have Sweden and England in the next round. England having much more quality, of course, but we can already smell their fear of losing.
Well, I'll speak for Colombia and England. I am English, and I do like Colombia, but I don't like them tonight. I would rather play Sweden than Switzerland. Simply, and I know Switzerland haven't been very good in this, but I think they are the better team on paper. I just don't know what they've done in this game, because Sweden have defended very well against them and played a very good tactical game. And Switzerland should take a long look at themselves and say they've not done enough.
Well, Alex Rudd says, why is everyone overlooking Russia? Do you see any chance of Russia in beating Croatia?
Yes, I do.
Really? I think Russia got quite lucky.
I think Russia just played very defensively against Spain, because Spain are a pain in the backside to play because they're going to have so much possession. But Russia have showed that they can attack, and I think they'll have a bit of a go against Croatia. And Croatia was so poor against Denmark that there may be a chance there. I mean, imagine that, Russia-Sweden final. I think that would make the final, imagine it's Brazil versus Russia in the final, or Sweden. It would be, I think we need a Croatia or a Colombia or an England in the final, because I just don't think Sweden or Russia, if they got to the final and played France or Brazil, I think they'd park the bus, and you don't want that in a final.
No, that's what I said. I hope that I'm happy, I'm excited that we're going to get sort of an underdog in the final, but I don't want it to be an absolute sort of domination, one-way game where Brazil just hold the ball and batter them 4-0. That'd be boring to watch.
Matthew McFadden's got a fiver on Russia winning the whole thing. Never going to happen, Matthew, but I hope you got good odds.
Imagine that, though.
If they're winning at half-time against Croatia, cash out.
yeah, do that. Take it from him. He knows what he's doing, Mark. To be fair, you did that sort of, was it 10 quid to a grand? You got that, didn't you?
No.
You never got it?
Close, but we didn't do it. Tristan says that the FIFA Ronaldo has reportedly been agreed by Juventus. Please don't be true. Where are you getting that from, Tristan, though? Is that anything new in the last couple of hours, or is it still the same outlet that...
apparently, someone's messaged me saying it's on beIN Sports, which is quite reliable.
Yeah, let's have a quick look.
I'm on Twitter as well. Mate, Ronaldo to you, I just don't... It just doesn't make sense.
Well, Luciano Moggi, who's a former director of Juventus, has laughed it off, saying it makes me laugh. Juve's problem is not Ronaldo, it's putting together the defence and the midfield. That for me, they would be wrong to get Cristiano with a 30 million salary.
It's the transfer fee, but it's also the wages. He'll be on mad wages there.
Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, very interesting if it happens.
I just don't know how they can financially support that deal. I don't understand. I don't get it. And I don't understand. Well, I understand why Ronaldo would do it, but I don't know. Well, not long left in this game now, mate. Probably about 4 or 5 minutes. So nervous the last few minutes. Come on, Sweden. That's from Luke Skywalker. I presume he's Swedish then. Wonder how much overtime. Yeah, I reckon about 4 minutes, mate. 4 or 5. Thanks, Antoine, mate. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. Cristiano Ronaldo to Juventus, Real Madrid superstar agrees to join Serie A Giants in 116 million deal. Well, in that case, Ronaldo must have turned down United, because if he was available, and if he is obviously that intent of leaving Real Madrid, he must have turned us down, because there's no way we won't be in for him.
Rishab, it's all right putting it in capitals, mate, but if you don't give us the source, then we're simply not going to take any credit to what you're saying. 3 minutes added on here. We've only got 2 minutes left. Good cross by Rodriguez. What a header that was. And it's straight into the keeper's got it down and held on to it. But it was a good header. You wonder if that was their chance. It wasn't even a chance. Yeah. It was just he did well. Did really well, the number 9 for Switzerland there.
I think that's it done now. I reckon that was their one thing. Their one chance.
Severovic.
Well, I went 1-0 Switzerland. I said there wasn't going to be many goals in it, but it's 1-0 Sweden, isn't it? 1-0 Sweden. He did do well, didn't he? Did do very well. Good save. Nah, it was just straight at him.
Right, Sweden have got the ball now. They just need to keep hold of it. And in many ways, I think, great result for Sweden if they hold on. They've been the better team. But I think for a knockout stage game, I think it's been played a bit like a group game from Switzerland. I just wonder where it's not they've never really... I wouldn't say they've been terrible, but I'd say there's a lot of Swiss fans who are like, that was a missed opportunity. We never really played to our potential.
Yeah.
I mean, they've still got a chance here. It's Shaqiri. He'll want to get on his left foot. Don't show. Oh, that's poor defending to let him put a cross in on his left foot. Sweden have cleared it. There's still a minute left.
I reckon it's done, mate. I don't want to call anything, because I don't want to start singing Switzerland are going home like I did yesterday of Belgium and then win. But I just don't see it. I don't see it. I just lost it yesterday, mate. I don't know what happened to me.
Anthony Muller says, lack of fire from Switzerland. Yeah, it's a missed opportunity, but it's not totally over yet. Referee's just got in the way of a clearance for Sweden there.
Well, you'd be gutted if you're Swiss.
If they go and score now...
You'd be gutted if you're Swiss, though, right?
Good block again. 30 seconds left. Klassen's got it. And this should be it now. They're on the break. Play the pass. Here we go. Put him in. One-on-one. Get it out your feet. Ooh, ref. Penalty.
Really? Who?
Penalty at the end. It's not going to matter. He'll red card him as well. They know it's all over. Sweden are going through.
There you go.
They've got everyone committed forward, which is exactly what they should do. There's a ball played through, and
but what I don't understand is, in terms of consistency, how the bloody hell is that not how the bloody hell is that a red card, but Croatia's one wasn't?
Because with this one, there's no attempt to make a tackle.
Yeah, I see what you mean, but
apparently with the Danish one, there was an attempt to make the tackle. Although, as a defender, as we've said, the attempt to make the tackle is flawed because you can't actually make that tackle. So he should have been sent off as well. But technically, the referee can hide behind the fact, well, there was an attempt to make the tackle. But for me, the tackle's got to be a legal tackle in the first place. But that is a red. He's going VAR here, the ref, but there's really no point.
I don't think it's a penalty, though. I think it's the contact's outside the box, isn't it? Isn't the contact outside the box?
A lot of people saying it's a free kick.
That's what I personally thought. Look, he touched him there. No, he doesn't touch him inside the box. No, it's not a penalty, mate. It's not a penalty.
No.
That's a free kick. But regardless, it's still a red card.
There can only be about 30 seconds in this game. So if I was Sweden, I'd just kick it back to your goalie.
Yes, yeah.
Or go for the corner.
Yeah. Or just take it to the corner.
It's a tough one to call.
It's outside the box, mate. I don't see that. Contact's outside. He doesn't touch him inside.
Yeah, no penalty.
No. Well, there you go. Regardless, there won't be too much of anything. Although VAR, it's been about 40 seconds now, so...
BT says it shouldn't be a red. I still think it's a red.
No, I still think it's a red.
An opportunity, isn't it?
It's a red card, but it's just not a penalty. Well, get involved, guys. Get subscribing as we're waiting for the VAR decision. Get subscribing. We are live later with England versus Colombia stream, so do join us for that. But get subscribing. Trying to hit 42,000 subscribers today, so get involved. Get sharing the video as well if you have already subscribed. And, you know, get involved.
Yeah, the stream has already been set up for the England game, so if you want to get on there in the live comments a couple of hours before the game, then just go to the homepage. You'll see England versus Colombia. The live stream is there. And we'll be live a little bit earlier tonight, building it up, me and Marcus, probably about 6:30. Going to get out in the garden a bit now and just blast the ball about and release some of the tension as we look forward to that. But Sweden awaits, hopefully England, potentially Colombia, and there's no way Switzerland are going to have the time now because...
Well, there'll be about a minute.
Well, I think there was only about 30 seconds left anyway. But
well, yeah, 30 seconds
if I was
past
Sweden, I'd be passing this to the corner.
Yeah, I wouldn't shoot. No way.
Just remember what happened with Japan last night.
Yeah.
If it's in the last minute, nothing can go wrong. Let's try and win it from a corner. And then 30 seconds later, Belgium have won it. So I think they're going to hit this free kick.
I think it looks like it. It's quite close. You can't
Keeper
get it.
Saves it, you see? Oh, he's blown straight away afterwards anyway. So
why?
Sweden are through. Switzerland are out.
There you go. 1-0 Sweden. Sweden are through. You know, if you're Swiss, you're gutted, but it's deserved, isn't it? Sweden were the better team today, had more chances, and you know it should have been more if they were a bit more composed in the final third. But yeah, I mean it will be Sweden in the quarterfinals. Who will play them? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Join Mark later for that for England versus Colombia. But fair play, they deserve it, don't they? And they'll take this now, won't they? They'll take it.
Yeah, Sweden will play England or Colombia on Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. So it's all about the last game of the group now. For me, it was always about the last game of the group of the knockouts of the 16 because it's England, but it is definitely all about that now. So yeah, you can join me at 6:30. The stream is already up if you want to get in the live comments. Thanks for having me on, Xander, and I'll leave you to it.
Cheers, mate. I'll speak to you in a bit.
Ta-ra, out.
Good. I mean, there you go. Sweden 1-0 done. I mean, we'll give it a little summary. I'll take your comments, but we will start wrapping up the stream. Good to get Mark on, but unbelievable. Well, I think it's deserved, isn't it? I thought Switzerland were going to be the better team today, but Sweden dominated. They had more chances, less of the ball, but more chances, and should have won. Fair play to them. Deserved, isn't it? People saying it's coming home. See you on the next one. Yep. Colombia, Sweden versus England, no doubt. I mean, Sweden versus England is a fantastic opportunity for England to get to the semi-finals, and then it's either Croatia or Russia. Anything can happen, but I'm not saying it's coming home yet. But as Mark says, the stream is open for England versus Colombia. Join him for that. Get in the comments. There's always a lot of chat in the comments before the stream actually starts. So head over there once I finish this stream, which will be any minute now, and I'll be in there as well. Let's all get excited now for the final round of 16 game. I'm excited. Thanks everyone for joining me. Thanks everyone that has subscribed and got involved, and I'll speak to you all soon. Cheers all.